Are you ready?
This is the D-Generation Clix podcast with your hosts,
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruffman,
Ravage.
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane,
Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Daniel Schwab,
We
best friends, Asgard to mouth, and Pete.
'Cause I'm just me.
Welcome back to the D-Generation Clix podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me as always are Miles, Dan, and Pete. Miles, what's up?
It's second Monday for me right now. This is a long week. I got to drive into California to work, putting on a roof. So it's been a rough week so far.
That sounds roof-tastic. Did you say second Monday?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So it's Tuesday, it's second Monday. So there's 3 Mondays, pre-Friday and Friday. That's how my weeks work.
Oh, okay. I get that. I feel that. Okay.
Some would say it's almost roofless.
That was better.
Thank you.
Dice Coupless Dan, what's going on?
It might be revived. Who knows?
Nope, don't do it.
Yeah, you don't.
Dan's officially
tell me.
retired his dice cup, he said. And it's been the most peaceful days playing Clix with Dan ever.
For real?
Yeah,
Are we going to have a Brett Favre watch
Nope.
for retirement?
Nope.
Probably because he's just a wuss. So
Dan, what led to the decision to retire it?
because I'm getting a new one.
Oh, god damn it. I thought you were retiring dice cups in general, not just that one.
No. I'm just getting a new one. So
Oh, that just
This one
ruined my
has
day.
a bullhorn
Thanks.
attached to it. Yeah, so when he slams it down, just a bullhorn goes off.
All right, Pete, what's going on with you?
I had a great couple of 2 days of Clix. We had our monthly game, which we'll get into. There's a lot to cover from that. And then we played Monday night, so I'll tell a quick story about my Monday. So I was excited because I got out of work early. Get home, make sure I got my stuff right. Took a bunch of old Clix and boxes that I was just getting rid of, threw them in the back of my car, got everything, get over there, beat everybody there. I never beat everybody there.
True.
And except for one person. And I'm sitting there and talking to him, and I opened my case, and I said, holy crap, I literally grabbed the wrong case. I actually have no hero clicks in this case right now. The team I built and put in the case is sitting at home. So I was like, well, I don't know what to do. It's only 300 points. So I told Dan, who had shown up, I said, I think I might just buy the X-Men set and play Magneto. It's 300 points, whatever. It'll be fun. Like one-man armies. Dan was nice enough to purchase me an early birthday present. So then Redmond comes and returns some stuff they took with him to Origins. So I let Ollie pick my team for the night, unbeknownst to him. It was either what was in the X-Men Iconic set or what was in the box, and nobody knew what it was. So he took the box. So Ollie called down a grand prize APOC versus everybody. So it was just a fun, silly night of Clix. People did work on APOC, though. They got him to last click every game, but he was able to overcome 2 of the 3 games. So that was my day in Clix. So yes, once again, I managed to completely screw up the build for a Monday night.
I love it. I'm still pretty exhausted. This probably won't be our usual 3.5 hour podcast, but I say that now and then we find a way to get there anyway. But I'm really looking forward to this 4-day weekend, and then I'll be good to go next week. And after calling his shot last week on the podcast, Ollie is back. Maybe you know what that means. We'll get into that shortly. What's up, Oliver?
What's up? I'm ready to talk about the monthly.
You ready to talk about the monthly?
Already.
All right.
Yes.
All right, well, we have some news first. So first, the championship cliX Open Tropical Regional Series is getting closer. The series is running July 19th through August 16th, so starting in just a little over 2 weeks. Our Tropical Regional is Saturday, August 16th in Kenosha, Wisconsin at Coliseum Games. Registration starts at 9:30 a.m. We're also running BRs all day with a chance to win the same prizes in the main event from raffle tickets won in those BRs. And then a bunch of us are going to also attend the Tropical Regional in Indiana at Screaming Monkey Comics on Saturday, July 26th. And finally, the weekend of Friday, July 18th, Ollie and I are heading to Portland, Oregon for cliX Camp. Miles, we haven't talked about cliX Camp details in a bit. Do you want to refresh our memory on everything that's going down that weekend?
Yep. So it's going to be July 18th and 19th, which is a Friday, Saturday. Friday is going to be the 3v3 sealed. So we're going to be using Smash and Destroy for that. We're going to have extra prizing. I believe right now we have, I think it's like 3 cases of prizing and a few. I might be off a little bit, if depending on obviously if we get the max 12 teams. I believe it's up to 3 cases of prizing, as well as some chase boosters. We're gonna be having BRs run all Friday, all Saturday, with like Smash and Destroy, Spider-Verse, Collector's Trove, anything else that we're able to find. And then Saturday, we're going to be doing a 300 modern. Just singles. But we had to up the price a little bit because it was supposed to be $150, so $50 per person. But with the tariff changes, we had to go make it 15 more per person for the 3v3. So it's 65, so that way it's able to cover and get everything there. Which hopefully that's not too big of a deal. If someone needs help, I have no problem helping a few people out. We will have Brad Broyles there judging, Mr. Bradcast himself. That's going to be river access. We're going to be camping right on the farm. Matt Zielinski is kind enough to find a nice property for the owner where he works out on the farm. Yeah, it's going to be real great. We're going to be capping the event at about 36 players. I believe we have 20, I think, signed up. I'm going to double check that. I'm going to be getting the links back up and putting them into our Facebook page.
And who's your partner for the 3v3?
My partner is, I'm teaming up with a dad and son. The son's really good. I'm a little bit hesitant, but, I just know with the son being so good, I'm like, all right, I guess we can let your dad team up with us.
That's fair. Yeah, Oliver and I are teaming with Miles as a team of 3, so that'll be fun to do. Surprising. Yeah, Ollie just found that out now.
Yeah, we had to.
Oh, that's a handsome and charming team.
Yeah, Ollie's going to carry us.
All right, Pete, does Bookwood even play cliX anymore? I guess here's the drop.
Bookwood Report!
Hello, friends. It's time for the award-winning people segment. Or what's left of it. The Bookwood Report. Unfortunately, Bookwood is, he had his little run last week. A little quiet this week. I like to believe that Bookwood's in the lab, figuring out the next move. With some prep time like Batman, where he'll defeat the universe. But Team Jumbo Package once again coming to his protection and to spur him on. So I'm going to loop you in with the Looper Report. The Looper Report tonight's pretty solid. Some classics here. He got himself a Mind Gem and a Soul Gem, and their associated ABPI characters. As we all know, Bookwood wasn't there on Monday, so we have no games to talk about. But that is your Bookwood Report.
Did Looper end up getting a full set of Mandarin rings? I feel like he did.
He did. We talked about that last week.
That was last week? Okay.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Looper's been on a... That's the degenerate chair I like out of somebody.
He's taking over for Bookwood.
Oh, man, if Looper's wife is listening, Looper hasn't bought anything. This is all just purely a joke, and he has bought nothing.
Yeah.
It's all been donations.
Donations and trades, because Matt Looper's a charming, handsome man.
All right. We do have the Invitational Championship to go over, and even champions have bedtime, so we're going to start with our monthly championship game rundown first.
The following is a last man standing match.
A last man standing match. Last man standing. A last man standing match.
Last man standing tonight.
All right, so what was it? Sunday was our robot game for June, and we actually had 8 players for this event, with Dalton being able to join us, and he'll be joining us next month as well for July. But we had Looper coming in 8th place for this one. So Looper's team was it Fin Androids and Furbots?
Yes.
All right, so he played Gypsy Danger from the, remind me what set that's from. Oh, Pacific Rim, right?
Yes.
And then because that is a Golden Age figure, it was half off, so it got cut down from 225 to 113. And then Phoenix Sentinel, the Batman team up, Cyborg with the Time Gem, and then Skeets, and then Iron Man Sentry.
His double blades thing sounded pretty crazy when his max was 8 damage.
That's Gypsy Danger. Did he get that off at all?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I was
That
sad.
was Dan's fault.
Did Gypsy Danger do anything? Because I missed a lot of the early games, so I wasn't. I saw he played Gypsy. I just was hoping that there were some highlights with that figure.
He was
He
great.
survived long.
First highlight.
First highlight.
Great mind control.
He did get mind controlled. He did do that again.
Second highlight.
Coming in 7th was Dan. Dan, you want to read us your team?
Sure. So I played Beta Ray at 100 with Mjolnir, a good old Primus with the +1 longsword, and then my girl Scorn with the Lyre and Spectral Ring. Or no, Daimonic Rings. And then I had Heimdall's Sight as my one-shot.
Then we have in 6th place Christine, who played Beta Ray Bill also at 100 with Mjolnir instead. And then Wolverine and LCD with the Octopus Arms, Spider, SPDR from Beyond Amazing with Skybreaker, and then a 10-point Brainiac from JLU.
That's
DR.
DR sounded pretty good with the Skybreaker, making 4 attacks.
And we had 2 people actually play him, but in 5th place was, I think it was Pete, right? Pete, do you want to go over your team?
I did. I had the Rogoat Light, because I couldn't play the Goat, because it was banned because people hate me. I played Vision 43A, not to be confused with 43 Bravo, who was the Goat, with a Soul Gem from Marvel's Disney Plus. I played Batman from Masters of Time, the Omega Batman with the Goblin Glider. I played Phantom X Legacy with the Indigo Tribe Ring for free. Brainiac from Notorious with the Lyre Ring for leadership and 10 range outwit. And I played Dan's Dead Clock, who did not do anything other than die. 25 points with Nightbringer and Spin Ring.
And then Dalton making his return after probably a year and a half. He played SBDR also with Skybreaker. He was the one that brought Ultron Pym. Who, man, I hate that piece, having to take the damage for your probs. With Remaker and Lyre. Annoying, yeah. All Caps Doom with Bucky's Arm, and then a 30-point Brainiac from Notorious with the Time Gem. And then from Notorious. And then we have Ryan Harris, who came in 3rd with the team Bottle Their Tears Just Like Candor. So he played Manhunter Grandmaster from, remind me what set this was, Superman?
Superman.
With the Sinestro Core Ring that he would get for free. So at 172 points, he was one. What was he?
86.
86? Yeah, that sounds right. Then the Brainiac Lex Luthor LE from 2020 with Colony. Toymaster from World's Finest, which would have made him 15 points with the Indigo Tribe Ring. The Superman from JLU at 10 points. The applesauce one, 3 maker and spin. And then he threw a cannon event on there. And then coming in third, so he will get a special effect terrain going into July. And then second place, I battled it out and I tried to go back to back. I ended up.
But that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
Say that.
Yep, let's just say that. I played the Prime Vision at 200 points with the Soul Gem. I played Kevin, and then the Mr. Sinister from XDPS with the Crimson Gem so that I could carry around the herb. So
apparently this is not the summer of Ryan Redmond.
Nope, I guess
So
not.
were you going for the Joe Harrison strategy of getting second?
I did. I took a page out of Joe Harrison's book and took second.
You went full heel and you still couldn't pull it off. You literally became what you hated. And you're like,
I had to, but I did come in second. It was close. Made a couple of big errors at the end there that definitely cost me the game, which we'll get into in just a second. Ollie, you want to go over your team?
So I played Cyborg Superman at 185 points. He is crazy ridiculous. With the Nightbringer ring and Remaker ring. So I did not realize that he could remove those terrain pieces and then use free regen until my dad told me. And then if he didn't tell me, he probably would have won.
Yep, that is also another thing that I did, just tell you how your piece worked.
And then I played Ace, the Royal Flush one. I love him a lot. He was my MVP from last month. And then Monday I actually played all Royal Flush people.
Mm-hmm.
So Ace got 2 runs in a row.
You did.
With 2 spider bots. And then Applesauce Superman with Captain Carter's shield. And I have Diabolical Bargain to trigger Cyborg Superman's full board reach. Right?
Yep, so we did Diabolical Bargain on your 10-point Superman, so we would drop Captain Carter's shield, which then Ace could pick up with his defend, and then Cyborg Superman also gets his full board reach just going through anyone with a robot keyword, right?
Yeah, or equipped.
Or equipped, but it's robot, so everyone had the robot keyword.
I feel like you should get a Rada. Well, he's just really good for our thing because we have to have a specific keyword.
Yeah, so he's just really good in robots. So, how did the game start out? Do you remember?
You ran over to me.
Why did I run over to you, though?
Because I had ridiculous pieces.
Or because you drew first blood by taking my first token off of Kevin?
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
That was cool. So I moved to the middle of the map first and then passed to Oliver, and Oliver took Kevin out right away on his turn
Kevin.
1.
See you.
So I turned my focus to him, and I was going to just take out his Superman real quick and then leave him with Ace and 2 spider bots. And I nailed him pretty hard, and so he started moving to the middle of the map, and he was able to heal Superman all the way back up to top over a little bit of time, and Dalton grabbed your Ace, right?
A few hours later.
So then you lost Ace kind of early, right?
Yeah, sadly.
And then who drew first blood over on your guys' side?
That was me.
Do you want to tell us about it, or?
Oh, sure. This is where I crippled Looper because the plasticity card came up, so you could free move half your speed value. So I was able to position Scorn in place to mind control his Phoenix Sentinel because he had his whole team bunched up, and then I shot his team with Phoenix Sentinel, which triggered his attack power and damaged himself on top of his team. And then I was able to move her back, and I double outwitted Phoenix Sentinel because Beta was on the board, so he didn't have Power Cosmic. So that was I'm pretty sure first blood on our side, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Beta Ray Bill does have Power Cosmic, right?
No, he takes it away.
No.
But does he
takes
have
it away.
No, he does not.
No.
So essentially no one on the board actually has Power Cosmic if he's on the board.
Mm-hmm.
They do get the will. No, they actually don't even get the willpower.
No, because you can't use the team ability at all.
That's what Ace does. She just doesn't give you the safeguard or
He got it through the being like colossal or giant, yeah, but he didn't have protected outwit, which was the big thing, so I could double outwit him.
And Pete, how long did it take you to get into it?
Not long. Dalton and I he came towards me, and then, Dalton forgot what it's like to stand next to me in a game where I tell him we can be gentlemen. And then he kind of wandered off a little bit. And I got in a position, I knew I had to get rid of Doom because my team was so dependent on having 4 actions. And so
No,
Oliver
3.
and him were fighting. I managed to kill his Brainiac with Vision, and then I managed to clean up Doom. And by that point, Dalton kind of wandered off after that. So that's where Dan and I pretty much fought the rest of the day after that.
So yeah, because he lost. You took out his Doom, I think, really quick, right?
Well, Ollie did some work on it. I just finished him up because the Vision still hits for 4 pen size, so he was like half dial. So I was able just to one-shot him for what he had left and one-shot his Brainiac.
And then he peed it off to the other side of the map, right?
Oh yeah, he definitely did the Pete. He did the Pete off strategy.
He did.
Pete out.
And then Harris, I think, took his time kind of meeting in the middle. And it was Pete and Dan that kind of fought back and forth. Christine just kind of claimed the middle, and then Dalton kind of hung out on the outside where we kind of started. And then Looper moved, I think. Did he move up a little too far, or did you mind control him up?
No. He just moved up. He was chasing me at that point because I had obliterated his team. So he was like, "I'm just gonna come shoot Dan in the face," was what he said a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his goal was to do violence to Dan. I don't think he accomplished it that game.
No, he didn't. Like, I was waiting for it, and it never happened because then Harris came up behind him. So
yeah.
But then I was pinched between Harris, Christine, and Pete, and I'm like, well, I don't see an exit, so I guess I'm just fighting my way out or dying.
And then he got taken out first, and then you got stuck between Harris and Pete. And did Harris attack you a little bit, or did he stay clean?
No, Harris was just close enough that I knew he was a threat, but it was Christine and Pete, and I just got pinched. So it was just, there was really no good way out for me.
Yeah, Christine came from the middle, Pete came from your side.
Yep.
Yeah, Christine was super patient. And then gets to the point where, like, if you don't do anything after a few hours of that game, you're like, all right, I got to get some attacks in here. Like, this is getting boring. So she came in hard with Spider and kind of messed somebody. I think she actually might have messed Looper up.
No, it was my beta.
Oh, your beta, that's right, yeah. So Scorn is a problem with the Liar Ring. Let me just say that for the record.
Leave Scorn alone. She's fine.
Yeah.
I was glad I didn't have to be over there.
Well, one of the cool things that I don't think you covered was during the robot, the special event is like if something dies, they drop a chip. So you pick up the chip and you equip it and you roll a dice and you get some kind of bonus that you get until they get hit. So pieces were getting really ridiculous. Like I think at one point your Prime Vision was like a 22 defense natively.
Yeah.
Like just disgusting. Yeah.
He's a 19. He had the soul gem to make him 20, and then he had 2 +1 defense buffs from the chips. Mm-hmm. But he still found a way to get hit hard. Ollie's dice were on fire, and he wanted me out.
And then on Monday, my dad.
Those roll-offs were insane. The amount of shape change. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and attack. Roll your shape change.
Yeah, he loved the shape change. He loved that remake ring. That one was his idea to put what he put on there.
And
but he has, that's why I was wondering why he put that on there because he already has shape change traded.
Who does?
Cyborg Superman.
The whole dial though? Not the whole dial.
It's traded. He has traded shape change.
It's traded.
It's part of that. If a friendly character with Superman has been KO'd this game, yeah, that's the first part of that trade.
Oh, I didn't even see that part.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Why is he? I'm like, oh, they want to give him poison? Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's shape change and double slash. Yep. So he just has it traded all the way through. Yep.
Oh, I didn't even see that. So yeah, Ollie, you should have had a different ring on him, maybe.
The poison didn't do it.
Oh, you know what? If he would have had the precision strike one, then he could have pulse waved Harris off his stop click.
Oh yeah, he could have. Yep.
Yep, that would have been the way to go. Yeah, his shape change on that first part.
Oh my god.
Well, and then he could have attacked and unequipped people from a distance too. Like he could have basically unequipped anybody from a distance too.
And then remove him. Remove him with his trait. Yeah.
Yep.
That would have been a play right there.
I think eventually Dan and I locked up. Dan, of course, does what Dan does during these games, and smoked one of my pieces for like 8 damage because he came over with Primus with the longsword, crit hit me, and then rolled a 6 on blades, and basically took my vision to being completely useless. I was like, well, that sucked.
That was sort of fun.
So
again, I was
then
waiting.
I lost.
I was waiting for the FU response, and it was so like quiet. Like I rolled a crit and then a 6, and I'm like, wow, I got nothing off this. Okay.
No, and then I lost to another mind control. He killed my my Phantom X, so I had no way of healing my pieces really, because I would have had to invest into re-equipping the ring. But somebody else here decided to peel off out of nowhere and kill my stop sign, so that was the only thing keeping Prime Vision from murdering my team the whole game. Thanks, Oliver. So then I had to start to get a lot more aggressive because I couldn't hide anymore in my little grouping of a shell with the stop sign out. So I was really expecting you, Redmond, to come over and take advantage of that. Like, I was like, man, I'm going to be out of this game so fast because I can't stop that piece at all now. So I think that turn
I was waiting
you got
for him to make a move like that because then I could double outwit him and just leave him like kind of just sitting there and be like, all right.
Yeah, I was pretty aware of the board.
You got my Death Clock, Dan, and you got my Phantom X.
Yep.
And then I think the fight back was me repositioning pieces. I did finally mind control Scorn, who had a bunch of stat bumps, and used her to kill something.
Primus.
And positioned her.
You killed Primus. That was the worst part.
Yeah. And then positioned her to where somebody else could kill her. So.
And then who got the final blow on Dan? Christina or Pete?
No, it was Pete because it was the mind control. Because he mind controlled Scorn and SPDR. Scorn killed Primus because I missed my shape change, and then SPDR killed Scorn because he took away my shape change. Okay. So I was like, well, I have nothing. So. Yeah.
I did get over and tango with Harris for a second. I hate that Toy Master, so I did actually manage to kill that thing before he killed me. So.
What did he do?
That was pretty academic at that point.
Toy Master is just really good support. He gives a little bit of a +1 attack, I think, when he's next to people.
Yeah. And defense, I think, or something like that. It's all good.
He's really good, yeah, for the robot game.
But you know who is better?
Who's that?
Cyborg Superman.
Yes, Cyborg Superman from last year is much better than Toy Master from 10 plus years ago. Then so Christine lost her. I think Wolverine and LCD was her first one that she lost, right?
That was me. I cleaned out Wolverine LCD between the mind controls, and then I hit them, so they were basically at last click, and then I was able to finish it off. I just didn't want to deal with. Once I didn't realize they had outwit, and I was like, oh, that outwit's got to go. So they were my first target.
So then they lost. So Dan was out. Then Christine, I think she came towards me when I was kind of trying to get Oliver Superman out of the game then, because he just kept pulse waving over and over again. And Pete saw his opportunity, so he flew your Batman over to me too, right? What is it? Tactical.
Everybody kind of came at you at once, because I figured that was our best chance to get some of your support. I was looking really just to get Kevin, because I couldn't see any way you could get Kevin out of there, out of Batman's either pulse wave range or poison range, to just get him off the board. Yeah. Because Kevin was running the board at that point. There was a whole turn Dan had because you let him re-roll his willpower. If not, he was doing nothing. And I think that was the time he crit hit me and then hit me for 8.
8. It was 8.
God damn it, Redmond.
You didn't like it that much.
It's all because you re-rolled that for it.
It's not her willpower. It's Scorn has a trait where it's like biosynthesis or whatever, where she can take you roll a d6 and it's a 4 through 6, and you can take a token off of any friendly character with the robot keyword within 3 squares in line of fire. So I was able to take it. I think I took it off of Primus, and then he came in and hit you.
So at that point, Dan had not missed one of those.
Nope.
And I said to him literally, well, you're due to miss one. Then he missed one. Redmond's like, Bravo reroll. And I'm like, oh, damn it, Redmond. Like, why are you the way you are?
Then Christine, I think, fell pretty close after that because she came in on me and I went with, I think I just flurried her, right? I got to double outwit, maybe even triple outwit between Vision,
Yeah.
Kevin, and
double.
Sinister.
It was
Isn't
double.
Sinister get, like, double outwit?
Nope.
Oh, who does?
Nobody that I had.
No, it was the tarot card.
Someone got to pick 2. I think, is it Scorn that got to outwit with 2 powers?
Yeah, as long as I choose a defense power first, I can use it a second time.
Okay.
The tarot cards came up big again because there was the initial onslaught that Dan had on Looper because the tarot card. There was one where it canceled all the equipment, which saved Dan's bacon for a round. And then there was another one that Dan had come up, the double outwit one, which was huge too. So like nobody's messing with his team at that point because you're like, well, I'm not gonna be able to do anything. He's just gonna outwit everything on my dial. So yeah, it was the tarot cards were back in a big way.
Yeah,
well, that and I think the one turn too, the shape change came up one turn, and everyone's like, "No, I'm just not attacking you." I was like, "All right, cool, I'm just gonna stand here."
Pete, what was your last piece that got eliminated?
Ironically enough, I think it was Brainiac. And he actually played great. I mean, that 10 range mind control and 10 range outwit is amazing.
Who killed him?
So I think that was my last piece. Harris did. Harris mopped me up. Yeah,
I
Harris was basically just farming like robot parts off of me at that point. So.
I mean, yeah, because I softened you up, and then Harris was like, "Oh, well, it looks like Pete's basically dead. Let me just finish that up."
I did get to use my community reroll to kill that stupid Toy Master, though.
that must have been satisfying.
It was, actually.
Satisfaction.
And then that left Dalton, Harris, me, and Ollie. And then Dalton only had... Who did he have left?
Spider
just PDR and the Pimtron.
Oh, yeah, he had both of those still.
And they high-fived.
And they did high-five with their sculpts. And then Harris had the Manhunter and Lex and Brainiac still. Brainiac. I lost Kevin, I think, right before the end there. So it was just Vision and Mr. Sinister that came around the corner.
But then I killed Mr. Sinister, and he gave me protected outwit.
Then, yeah, that did happen. But I think, was that before or after Harris came over?
Before. Harris came over to you, like, when it
was... It was after, because it was during that skirmish, because he still had a spider bot.
He still... Okay. Oh, yeah, because I killed the spider bot on the outside, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then I just had... So I came over with Prime Vision and Mr. Sinister, and then Ollie just had, at that point, I think one spider bot and Superman, Cyborg Superman. And so I think he pulse waved to take care of Sinister, and that gave him the protected outwit, which that was like the first big nail in the coffin for Prime Vision versus Cyborg Superman at the end. And this was I've said this so many times, where if the 3 people don't team up to take out the biggest threat, then the biggest threat's just going to win. And for the first time ever, everybody did finally team up on the biggest threat. However, it was me.
However, it was me, yeah. Because you played both the band
And I still don't think that was the biggest threat. I think Cyborg Superman was the biggest threat.
Blah, 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 blah.
I mean, it was funny to see you do full heel turn and then still get, like, oh, I guess...
Well, as Oliver looked at his card again, he realized that he could also start making barrier pieces at the beginning of his turn.
Oh, yeah, his city.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he had free regen every turn because he would use the Nightbringer ring to create a smoke cloud and then use one of those smoke cloud markers to get free regen. And then when he was in the middle, he kept generating a blocking terrain every turn and started blocking people in and out. And so people were just kind of fighting and hitting whoever they could. Harris lost.
So are you going to edit it? Are you going to edit it to where he's doing his buildings to We Built This City?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay for that
Man,
song.
He built all of Coast City with that. It was just wild.
As he's adding all the barriers.
He kept locking Harris's pieces out, so he lost.
There was a really funny comment, I think. It was like some workers built the city out of pulse wave.
So Harris lost Manhunter first because he got locked out of the building from Oliver with Vision.
That was so funny.
And then it was Ultron Pym that got dropped from. Did Harris actually get Ultron Pym?
I think so, but he was weak from the pulse wave. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oliver just kept pulse waving at the end there every turn, and so it was spamming pulse wave.
Yeah, Harris pulse waved and killed Ultron Pym.
Okay, and then it got to the point where then Dalton got out, and then Harris hit a stop click that was protected outwit, obviously, or protected pulse wave, so he wasn't taking any damage, and I just kept taking the damage. So I was trying to heal with either the soul gem by hitting anything, or what was the other thing I was doing?
Shape change.
Or yeah, we're hitting shape change. So it came down to Harris, me, and Ollie, and finally I was able to take out. Did I take out Harris, or did Ollie pulse waves take out him at the end? I think I hit him at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I locked up with Ollie right at the end there, and it was
a fun time.
It was a fun time. I kept trying to flurry him, and he just kept hitting his shape change, and he'd get me down. And then I think there was one time where I would flurry, I hit 10s on it, and I would heal back up 4 clicks. And then he would regen, hit 5s and 6s on that. Like his dice were on fire at the end. So
and then you moved out to equip Mjolnir.
Yeah, I got this idea in my head where I'm like, maybe I can just outroll him with Pulse Wave and we just go back and forth. So I went and grabbed Mjolnir, equipped it, and then I realized that he's just going to free regen after every time. So then I went and tried to grab one of the Skybreaker swords, and then he realized that he could Cyborg Superman, make that disappear, and so he did. And then I went and wanted to go get the Soul Gem again, and then he made that disappear, and then it was just like everything that happened, my chances got worse and worse.
And then I put like 2 smoke clouds down, so you're -1 attack, and that was like the only spot you can attack me at, the -2 attacks.
Yep, you pretty much blocked us all in, so we just had to fight it out, and you put a smoke cloud right under me.
So have fun having -1 attack and my crazy shape changes and impervious.
Yep, your dice were on fire, but you took the game. You did awesome. You have until Friday to pick your piece for July. Do you know what that'll be yet or not yet?
Probably Khonshu or Prime Colossus.
So you're still thinking on it? You have till Friday. All right, he's still thinking on it. But July's game's getting run back really quick. And again, it's going to be on a Sunday, so we'll have 8 people because Dalton's joining us. It's July 13th, and it'll be our second multi-keyword game of the year, and we'll be streaming that all day.
Man, I feel like those multi-keyword games are like sometimes so hard to build with.
They're fun, though, because you have to fit 6 different pieces on your team. So depending on...
I know, but I can't play my one-man armies.
Well, you're going to have to figure out a way to build what you want.
I want to play Cyborg Superman again.
You could do that if he hits one of the keywords, which I think he's what, scientist?
Yeah, he is, but I don't know if I'm going to play him again.
He is scientist, ruler, robot. The other 2 aren't important.
So you just gotta find, blah. So you just gotta find pieces that are lower points to fit them on your build. You could do it if you wanted, but not everyone's gonna have the robot keyword, so he's not gonna be as good. But many people will be equipped, so he'll play a little different, but still good.
Many people, or everyone's gonna have at least 1 robot, right?
No, robot's not a keyword. All right, well, congrats to Ollie for taking the win. Ollie, anything you want to say before bedtime?
No. I had really fun playing Cyborg Superman. I did not know I would have that much fun with him. So at the end, it was just like, I'm getting tired. I already want to go to sleep.
Yeah, I think the game went for like 9 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. It was a long one.
Shutting my eyes.
It was a late one for you. It was like till 10:30.
I'm like, let's just get the game over with.
All right. Well, you got a chance to go back-to-back in 2 weeks, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Good night, bud.
What did I get back-to-back-to-back?
Well, let's
game,
just aim
Ollie.
with back to
Congrats.
back first. There, you're aiming
No, back
pretty
to back.
pretty high.
Well, I will eventually return.
All right. Good night.
So my favorite part of all this was him calling his shot on the podcast before it. And then actually pulling it off. That's amazing.
That was the best. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is the Prime Vision has won every month he's been involved in. So to get through that piece is really, really, really difficult. So he played a great game. I think it's pretty easy to say, though, in robots, like, that Cyborg Superman's a bigger problem.
Yeah, with everything he's able to do and just pulse waving through pretty much everybody on the map. But you gotta be
those
smart
free
about it 'cause
barriers
it
will
does
just last
pulse
the whole
wave your own
game.
pieces. So once he lost everything, then he was more up for pulse waving everybody on the map. That spectral ring would have been even meaner, though.
Yeah.
But the big
gave the
key
kids some ideas
was
tonight.
him KOing that Mr. Sinister, because once he got protected outwit, and I couldn't outwit like his shape change or his impervious, and just try to go hard, then it was done.
Yeah, I think if you could have gotten his regen off, like getting rid of his regen, might have been a chance. But dude, his rollouts were so good. So, great game. Kid came through.
All right. Last week we went over some of the just top builds and teams from Nats, but we really didn't go over any of the meta tab stuff or stats from the HC units. So I figured we could go over some of that on this quieter week before the world sets fire when the watch list is released on July 3rd. So let's start with that list of predictions that we had, and I think for the most part we actually went pretty high on everything. Do you guys remember any of yours that you did?
Spot was like 45%, I think.
I think that's where I was. I think I was at like 40 or 45.
Man, I don't remember any of that.
All right, so going by popularity here, first one that we brought up was Chair Panther. So the percentage on here is win percentage, right?
Yeah.
So we have to do...
Yeah, and that's where I was basing my numbers off of for some reason when I was looking at that. That's why I was saying it so high. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So, yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of math, it looks like.
So, are we going by all sections or where are we starting?
Yeah, all sections, all players, and then by popularity.
Yeah.
So the first one that we had was Chair Panther. So where was he? He was number
22.
Yeah, so number 22 on 18 teams. So I had him at 82%. Miles had him at 80. Dan had him at 70, and Pete had him at 81%. And that was only 18 teams, which is honestly really surprising to me.
Yeah, 26.5%.
Yeah, so that
Wow.
was way lower than I thought.
Funny that my guess was about his win percentage, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, no, that's what I said when I was basing my numbers. For some reason, I was looking at percents, and so yeah, I was gauging off of the win percentage more than that.
And then Perdegaton was the next one that we called out. So Perdegaton was on 22 teams.
Yeah, so what? Just under.
Was that 68? Was there 68? How many teams were there for
68.
68.
68. So
Yeah, so
only on-
32 and a half.
Yeah, and
Or 32.4.
and again,
32.4, yeah.
we all went pretty high on this one. So I was at 72%, Miles was at 75, Dan was at 85, and Pete was at 66. And I think this one is honestly the most surprising, and that's Timebreakers. So Timebreakers, I think we said we were including both the Pogs and the little guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
so,
were
18, 19 for just the figure. I'm looking for the Pog right now.
I saw it earlier down a little bit.
Yeah,
6 teams.
Six more teams. That's what?
25.
25. So 25 out of 68 is 37%, basically.
So that still seems really low for timebreakers, right? I had them at 90%. I don't know how they were played so little. I feel like they're like a must include on every team. But I had him at 90, and then Miles had him at 68, Dan on 65, and then Pete at 75. And I did not see that many Kevins. That was another one that kind of surprised me. I had him at 65, Miles had him at 70, Dan had him at 60, and Pete had him at 55.
Yeah, he's only technically 19% like of the field was Kevin's, so not even a fifth of the field.
I was going off those win percentages. That's what, when I was looking up those numbers, I thought that was the percent instead of actually looking at the teams. And I'm sure Dan did the same thing too.
Oh yeah. I was just
If
guessing.
you actually look at our predictions, they're really close to.
Yeah, their win percentages. Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about then? Because the win percentages would have just been on an event in general. Is that what you're?
Yeah. No, I know. I was just I just got confused. I thought when I sorted it sorted to that percent.
Oh.
But I'm still surprised to see that low of them on teams.
Yeah, I'm not really not expecting to see that little of Kevin, honestly.
There were just so many staples that we've been seeing, and like Kevin just being on the top of so many teams, it doesn't even matter what build it is. He's just so important on a lot.
Yeah.
We have
So my only thing with Kevin, and why I took such a low number, was because he's going to typically be on mostly non-theme, right?
Did we see an increase in theme?
No. So I actually got the numbers right here. Was talking with Bill about this. So it's I think it's 51% was theme. I'm getting all the numbers right now on here. Yeah, it's like the win percentage and everything is like 50-50 theme and unthemed.
Oh wow. I thought untheme was picking up steam, so I thought untheme would be higher, but okay.
Oh, so like right here we have so these are the 2025 majors. Let me go here where it's the theme right here. So theme teams, 42% of teams from Red, White, and cliX were theme. Champion cliX was 44. Adepticon was 19, but U.S. Nationals was 49% of teams for theme teams.
Wow.
So it was only 51%.
So this might be impossible, but HC Units can probably do it because it does everything. Can you tell how many were past Avengers? Was that keyword the reason that it popped up so much?
I don't know. I just have the raw numbers.
I wonder if we can go into other things. Let's finish this up. I don't know if somebody can look at that.
I'll look. Give me a second. Yeah.
Prime Colossus was on only 11 teams. Again, he is kind of dropping a little bit. I had him at 40%. Miles had him at 50. Dan had him at 45, and Pete had him at 33. But only on 16% of teams.
Yeah.
And then this is another one. I thought she would have been even more. The Copycat Pog. I had her at 70. Miles, it was either 75 or 85. I can't see what I wrote because I had to write one of the numbers over each other. And then Dan at 60 and Pete at 66. And she was only on 20 teams. So that was 29%. So, I mean, for all these crazy staples to be so low, I think that says something that's still kind of good about the meta, that you're seeing a lot of pieces that are playable. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. So the top 10 pieces aren't even regular main force pieces.
No.
They're all sideline stuff.
Yeah, if you just go to main force, it's there is 100 different pieces used on main force. At least.
Yeah, I think
because one team played Loki.
It just shows the top 100 always.
Yeah.
So
that's what I said that there's at least 100. So if there's less than 100 pieces, they're not going to show 100 pieces. But yeah, Loki on one team. So yeah.
So as far as the past Avengers, out of the top 16, there was only 2 teams that had that keyword. So
I know Sinister Syndicate. I think that that was actually a lot of theme was on there.
Really?
And so they were just hoping for you not to have a Beetlejuice at that point.
That sounds like a terrible plan.
Yeah.
It's like 20% of a plan, you know?
There's no way to look at, I guess what?
No, I'm just scrolling and looking, and no, it's like I said.
No, there's nothing, no sections on what's a theme or not.
Nope.
I guess like realistically, that would be an easy fix, but I know
You would just add it. I would think you would just add that like as another data point in the table here of like I would just do like a checkbox of if it's theme or not, and then like what the theme was.
Yeah. As if HC units doesn't do enough,
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
Even the ones I'm looking at real quick are all unthemed. So I have one assassin, and the first 6 that I'm looking at are all unthemed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it was the people that ended up landing lower that were the theme teams, but it still wasn't heavily like influenced by the Caps Cookie Quartet stuff. It really wasn't.
Top 8, I believe, were all unthemed.
Yep.
Double check. Besides JM, he's the only one that was themed with past.
Yep.
Those are some crazy.
Oh, and there's
stats.
Animal.
Oh, Animal
Okay,
with
so
was
yeah.
Denny's team.
Oh, yeah,
Danny,
yeah.
Yeah, they were 7th and 6th. But yeah, those are the only 2 themes. And I'm looking at the 16. See if they added any more themes, but
So you said it was 49% was themed, 51 was unthemed.
yeah. Yep.
And then the bottom of the list was unthemed, and top of the list was unthemed. So what does that say about theme? Anything particular?
Unthemed is there's what 3. So 3 teams made it into top 16. You had Austin, my favorite dinosaur, at 16 with past, Denny with Animal, and then JM with past. Were the top 16 teams.
The other two were Isaac and Ant with Mystical, and Adam.
Oh,
Freeman.
I didn't. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. I didn't realize that those were actually themed.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so 5 of the top 16.
Yeah. That's still not a lot. That's what,
No.
a third of the field at best. So
Yeah, 31 and a half.
That's still, I think, more than we've been seeing, though, right?
Yeah, for top 16, yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, Adepticon, 19% of all teams at Adepticon were themed.
And that was just how many months ago? What's really changed? Just Smash and Destroy?
Yeah. Smash and Destroy.
Is there anything, I guess, well, Smash and Destroy, and you said Cookie Quartet didn't change
Cookie
as
Quartet.
many. But that didn't really change too much, right?
no.
Well, it changed the past Avengers, so you're able to get more stuff well-rounded.
But Dan said, how many past Avengers teams were there?
At least in the top 16, there was 2.
There was one.
Or
There's
sorry,
only
one.
one past Avenger team. JM did not play past Avengers.
Yeah,
He
he
just
played just straight up past, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Austin was the only one to bring it with Despero
Okay.
in the top 16.
Yep.
Was the Rivals Respawn map, I don't think that was as heavily played either as I thought it would be. That's all the way down on the 41st element. So it was only on 10 teams out of 68.
So out of the maps choices, it was the 5th top played map. It was only on 10 teams though. So
Where was? Because you don't put that in HC units. How do you look at just maps?
it's under the team selection.
Yeah, it's under the team section.
Scroll down.
So,
And even Brock's Bunker was only on 33 of the teams. So Brock's Bunker was just under 50%. And that was the highest map used.
That's crazy. And then it jumps down real quick to 19 teams have Bloodstone Maze.
Yeah.
18 is
18 have
Monster.
40 different maps.
Yep.
Some really
So that's
interesting things too.
So that's a good thing, right? So map selection
so-
would tell you it's a little bit wide open.
Yeah.
If you do top 16, There's 17 different map choices. And then in the top 8,
Still 10.
yeah, 10 maps, different maps in top 8.
That's not bad, honestly.
And it looks like all 4 teams had rival respawns. It said Monster Island four of the 8 teams.
Yep. So half of
6 of the 8 had Major Brock's Bunker. Monster Island was on 5. And then Bloodstone and Alien Aquarium were on 2 of the top 8. And then if we go to top 4, all 4 teams had rivals respawn in the top 4.
And 3 out of 4 had Brock's Bunker.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just a split of Blitzkrieg Manhattan, the Courtroom, Monster Island, the Cord Industries, and Alien Aquarium. So it was like each one of them had their own like different map on their team, basically.
The win percentage on Brock's Bunker, though, is still 79.9, which is, I think, pretty good.
Yeah, the rivals respawns was 100% for top 4.
In top 4, yeah.
I don't think I saw that map get played at all, though. Did you guys see it on any of the streams?
One of the games, I think.
What was the final match? Was played on?
The final match was played on. Brock's Bunker.
No,
it wasn't. What did?
Was it the aquarium?
Cord Industries, I think, actually.
Where did that one?
I don't think it was it. Yeah, because it had to be Cord. Because there's Brock's Bunker, Courtroom, Rivals Respawn, Monster Island. It had to have been. Yeah, it was Cord's Industries.
Oh, because Isaac went second. Was that the deal? So you played it on Cord Industries.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, because Ant picked Alien Aquarium in top 4 against Joe.
Oh, okay.
Or
that's what I'm thinking of.
Did.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
All right. What about the equipment? +1 longsword looks like it's still reigning supreme at 34 teams. Destroyer armor, this is the biggest thing coming out of Smash and Destroy at 29 teams. Hell Cycle.
And that's because it's free.
Yeah.
I really, for sure.
I'd love to know how many teams actually paid for it. I know it was on a Beetlejuice team. Who played it on theirs? Was it Isaac that played it on his?
Yes.
Third was Hell Cycle, probably for Spot, is why this jumped up, right?
Yeah.
What is this? 20 teams?
Mm-hmm.
Beating out Trick Arrows at 18, Towerette on 14, Mjolnir on 13, and it's another one too. Probably all free on a Captain America, right?
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
I would guess so. Yeah.
Avatar of Khonshu at 7 on 11 teams. Bucky's Arm at 8th on 11 teams. Motorcycle still up there for 11 teams in 9th place, and then Crimson Gem, only 9 teams in 10th place. Now, this is one that I think that we all thought was going to make a ton more teams, and that's the Bloodstone, coming in 11th on only 8 teams. Why do you guys think the Bloodstone is just not seeing play?
I think people are playing around it. That's honestly what I think.
I also think that equipment's like a teeter-totter. Like, it'll have upswings and downswings, and I think that's kind of how it's going to operate.
Just because people are playing less of the herb already?
Yeah.
Well, if you actually look at the field and like how little that Bloodstone was being played, like a Black Lantern team would have done extremely well. But it's one of those things, like, do you want to play a Black Lantern team where you can't heal? So...
Well, honestly, you're shut down by Beetlejuice, Black Lantern teams already. There's way too many frees they need to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can still at least heal them to an extent. You just have to use Necron with Towerette, but otherwise you can't.
No, you can't heal them without those frees, because how are you going to make those graveyards or those grave trains?
Oh, yeah, you can't make
those frees. Yeah. Unless you're paying 120 for Superman.
No one's
to get
doing
leadership. Well, I guess Hal Jordan, to an extent, because you make barrier to put a grave marker underneath someone.
Yeah, so that could work.
There's no way that a Black Lantern team works because he's barriering to make a grave marker.
No, that's that. No, I'm just saying, like, that's what you'd have to do, and that just
I will say, though, that it did. So, Nifty Traffic Barrel making 28 teams and coming in first place, which I do like to see. And then we have the Heart-Shaped Herb on 23 teams, just beating out the Phone Booth on 22 teams. And then it's just some standard terrain after that. Oh, you know what? No, never mind. Because people were playing the Black Panther one, too. So, Heart-Shaped Herb was actually on 31 teams, beating out Nifty Traffic Barrel. So, that actually would come in first place. And then Vibranium on, what is this, 15 then? Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think there's too much else on that.
I mean, 5 teams bringing in Dumpster Fire. You know, you got to love that.
That's one that I was a big fan of. Where do you see that one, though? Where did that one rank?
It had a winning record.
Oh, here. So only 5 teams, though, at 11th place.
What I mean, yeah, I know it's 5 teams, but yeah, it's 52% win record, so that's still cool to see. But yeah, the rest are like 2 teams and whatnot. Yeah.
Overall, anything on main force that you guys weren't expecting? Still, all those pieces that we called out for the most part are on there. Just is the field just bigger than what we thought it was going to be? Because we still have Perdega's in it first, Copycat is second.
I'm really surprised. Yeah, just because like that figure doesn't function with Juice.
Who's that?
Space Ghost.
What are you sorted by?
Main force. I sorted by so he's 26, but yeah, I was surprised to see actually like him played once, but it's actually on 4 teams. Just because like he's a waste of 30 points in a when you're looking at main force Juice.
Yeah.
And so like you go into that matchup and you have a dead 30 points.
I think something interesting looking through stuff is Butterfly down at 40. It was only on 2 teams. I still think
Kong was on 3.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, going down here, it's really surprising.
Oh, Kong way down at, was that 32?
Yeah.
And 2 of them were on 1 team.
So one that I thought
we did get.
I was going to say one that I thought we were going to see a lot more of, and people were prepping with, was the Spirit of Vengeance Red Hulk. He was only on 5 of the 68 teams, 75% win percentage.
I think it's the pilot. I think that's wise because, like, I don't know if people have the pilots they want to use because I think his pilots play a very important factor on how good he will be.
Yeah, that's true. Not being able to get 4 Thanoses or buy a bunch of Beholders or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I saw a ton of Captain Americas. So 5 teams for him and only a 51% win rate is kind of surprising too. Where did he make the top 16? He was all over the weekend. I felt like he was like almost the number 1 piece played that wasn't support.
See here if he did.
He was in silver.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Because JM played him. Yeah, JM played him. Yeah, you're talking about Pegasus Cap, right?
No, the new Chase Cap. I felt like I saw him all week. Did he make any of the final 16 teams though? 1, 2.
He was on 1 team of top 16.
Whose team?
I'm not sure. I'm just going through the main force, see if maybe he's on top 8, so that way it'll be easier to find him. Yep. So we made top 8. So we do know that. So yeah, he made top 8.
It was Denny.
Oh, I was gonna say that's right. It was Denny's team.
Yeah.
And he carried him up with
Flash
Raptor many times. Okay. So
yeah, I just made that bystander, and I'm so ready to put that on a map, even if it's just ridiculously sized for a single base.
The Devil Dinosaur one.
Yeah, because it was a Devil Dinosaur Moon Boy. I took Moon Boy out and broke him off of his 2x2.
I gotta take a look. What's the what are those from? Avengers Infinity, right?
Yeah, Avengers Infinity. Yeah.
I gotta see. We didn't get a ton of that when it came out, and I feel like I still finished it, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that he's actually able to balance on like single because it's just 1 foot.
As soon as you showed me that, I was like, I need to find that also.
Yeah, because I saw the one that you used, but I'm like, I hate him with the jacket. I don't want that devil dinosaur.
Yeah, he just fit, but I would rather have that one that you're
Yeah.
using. So I got to find an extra one and do that same thing.
Yeah, and he's like $6.
Well, as soon as you know that you can rip him off the base and put him on a single base, he's going to skyrocket.
That's true. Yeah.
Get to eBay now, kids.
But yeah, so Predagon was 1, Copycat was 2, Timebreaker was 3 on 19, Black Panther, the Chair Panther was on 18 teams in 4th, Spot was on 7 teams, 5th place, and then the Phoenix Bystander. This was another one that I thought we were going to see on way more teams, only 14. Do you guys think that that's more of a availability thing?
I think so. I'm not sure exactly who was at Rock Cup, so I'm not sure.
It's 10-point leadership barrier in TK, which is pretty crazy. Do you think that the threat of Mern, which did not show up, was part of that?
I think so. I think so, but I think with Lantern Legacy, the Phoenix Pog actually becomes so much better because of the 5-point bystanders. So I can see this Pog just becoming even more ridiculous.
I'd be curious to know how many of those Phoenixes were paired with Copycats.
That is a good question.
Because that's a 25 points of just amazing.
There's no way to bring up just the Phoenix teams, is there, on HC units?
No, you can't sort teams based off of figures.
Well, I think we found a new thing that we need.
Yet.
Kevin, see, he's still in 7th place, but only 13 teams. Colossus at 8th on 11 teams. Sandman on 11 teams in 9th place. And then the Cookie Quartet, Scarlet Witch at 10th place. There really is a lot of stuff that's getting played right now. I think that there's just a handful of things that I hope to see addressed in the watch list to make it actually like healthy.
Yeah, because I mean, we're looking at a total, and you can see pieces that are going to be played, but if you start going to cut, like they're not making it, you know. So like that's where sometimes these numbers can be skewed, or these stats can be skewed. I can go to a tournament and play 300-point Wonder Dawn, you know, and they go, "Oh, see, someone played that," but it's not like it's going to win. So I think there's a little bit more. I think these numbers things are great to look at, but I think there's more to it than just seeing what's being played, because you got to see like there's certain things that they don't play. Like you can't make the figures work.
And we'll go over this later in the questions too, I think. But if some of these issues were fixed, I think some of these teams that played some of these different pieces honestly have a shot. I think some of these pieces that got like a little bit of a trial run, they didn't do as good because they just didn't include some of the crazy, stupid stuff that's out there. But I like that we are seeing more people at least try different things and not just leaning into the most broken stuff. Because I mean, when was Apocalypse Thanos Worlds? Was that 2023 or 2022?
Yeah, 22. That was 2023. That was a year before I went.
2023. Okay. So I mean, when you're looking back to then, I mean, it was really closed then. So I think that we're still looking upwards. But this watch.
Oh no! It was 2022.
It was
2022 because I've been at the last two Worlds. Yeah. So yeah, that was the one before I went.
I mean, overall though, I think we're looking at one of the healthiest metas where you just have a couple of really bad things that take some stuff over the top.
There's three figures. I think that once those figures get fixed, it's in a great room.
Who are those 3 figures that you think?
Spirit of Vengeance because of his pilots, Spot because of his yanking, and Main Force Juice, or Juice as a whole.
I would agree with those. I don't think there's really.
I think that and
go ahead. Pete.
2 1-shots. No, I think that those 3 and 2 1-shots, and you've got essentially probably the most wide open meta you've ever seen. Canon event needs to be addressed, and rivalry needs to go somewhere that's not in HeroClix.
That's Hamit's Tomb.
Yeah, it needs.
Actually, did we even see? I guess how many did rivalry? So rivalry was only on 30 teams, which was a surprise. But then again, it's also based off keyword. But I just don't think that that's a good enough thing. You know, it's just it's so powerful for 5 points, especially when you look at the gems from.
You shouldn't take dice out of a dice game. That's purely it goes against the game itself. So
And this is obviously a stat that you can't get from HC units, but like cannon event, how many people had it on a team that could basically just purposely trigger itself versus just had it on their team in case they needed it when one of their pieces got KO'd, you know?
Yeah.
So it's only on 21 teams, but how many abused it when it needs to get fixed?
Oh, it definitely happened in silver. That I saw for sure.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
with
one
that.
shots need to go away in silver. Silver's just got it. I just have so many more interactions. It becomes even more insane.
But sideline was 45 teams of the 68 had Beetlejuice, which is disgusting. Mimic was on 41 teams. Ares 37. What do you guys think about Ares now? I still hate him, and I think he's terrible for the game.
I do. I hate the giant reach.
There's too many exploits.
With
Dan,
the terrain.
Dan, do you still think he's okay with all of the rulings that he's gotten?
I mean, I love Ares, but it's like it is what it is. People are gonna not enjoy it. I just haven't ever seen it happen where he like obliterates a whole team. Like most of the times I've gone to an event, I've never heard of like, oh, I got Ares. I haven't actually heard it happen. So.
Oh, I've seen it happen. It's not fun.
I mean, at least you're
I
still
but I don't like that argument either. But I'm not saying that you're trying to give it the argument. But
no,
I think that if the potential is there, like you don't want somebody to be that guy at the tournament that just is obliterated by that and just has a horrible game experience. Because we got to remember too that this is competitive, but it's also you don't want to just like completely take the fun out of it.
I'm just saying, like, even if he cost points to be on my sideline, I'd still play that. So
yeah, no, Mimic's the only one I think might see a downplay, just because of the loophole where you go into a character square to pick up an adjacent terrain marker.
Yep, and then now you can't place Mimic, so it doesn't matter. Yep.
Yeah,
so I can see him. Teams.
Rivalry, Cannon event, Fortify on 30 and then 21 and 21 teams. And then people not building more around their primes, I think, really surprised me too, because we had 20 reverse flashes. Can we see? Oh, no, that was just on the sideline. Yeah, so 20 teams did not play a prime on their main force. Cool. Yeah. That is a surprising stat. That's surprising.
And there was some teams without primes, even on the sideline as well.
Yeah.
That seems just crazy to me. There's so many good primes. I have a hard time deciding on which one to use. I never end up with 0.
There's a few teams I have that don't have primes because it doesn't fit what I want to do.
So you had 20 on the sideline. You had 11 Colossuses, so 31. Just quick going through the primes here.
Where's reverse flash on main force?
Another 6.
4 of them, or 6,
37.
What was reverse flash?
Another prime.
6 main force.
So 26
and
reverse flashes.
So 40 teams had primes.
28 teams did not have any.
On 2. No, 42. Check my math, boys. Cornell James Rhodes, so 44.
It goes all the way to 87 with one team having prime Swamp Thing.
Brother Voodoo, 45.
Oh, I see. So I'm looking at all selections, and so I have reverse flash at 26. Oh, but that's not. He's on sideline, so it won't matter.
Yeah, I just did main force.
But that means main force played him on 6. So there's
One Elsa Bloodstone. Wow, 47.
That was mine.
Yeah, and then 48 is Swamp Thing.
So 48 out of the 68 had prime. So 20 teams.
49 White Tiger Prime.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's still pretty significant and surprising.
So 19 teams without a prime?
That seems crazy, doesn't it?
No, I've been there though. 2 of my 3 teams that are on the list of being voted for Clix League West do not have a prime.
That seems wild to me.
That could be changed though. I do have a sideline option, so I could throw reverse flash on it, but he's just never been good enough to call in because he just dies. Yeah, 2. And 2 of my 3 teams don't have primes.
Anything else that you guys wanted to go over? We did main force, equipment, sideline, maps, and even terrain markers. We'll get into.
I think
go ahead, Pete.
I think the only thing and I feel like we're beating a dead horse, but everything's fine until you get into Top Cut, and then you still take 3 out of the top 4 teams from Main Force Juice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
that's and I don't know if that's going to go up or down. I think if there's no dealing with him, I think you're going to see that a lot more prevalent.
because it's pretty simple to pilot, and it's effective. I mean, you see it. So, and the thing is, the 3 people that played it that were in the top 4 were also like very skilled players and could have played anything, and they still played that.
Yeah, so Isaac went up against his game 2. He went up against unthemed team that was just poison. So it's Sandman at 50, Swarm, or Sandman at 75, Swarm, Spot, and Stereo. So that team doesn't even function. So that was just a wipe. And then going through his other teams, and then he played the Camo animal team, but that didn't really do much. And then obviously that, yeah. So he only played against one of those teams. I'm going through to see what Ant played. But yeah, that team doesn't even function. So like you went to an event and you're like, your game 2 is against Main Force Juice, and you're like, wow, why am I even playing this game? Like that's a game where you see and you're like, a good game, Isaac. I'm not even gonna waste my time or your time.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have to go up against a Main Force team.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's tough.
And then Ant went up against one of them round 1. His round 2 was a Caps Kooky Pass team. His round 3 was against another Spot team. Yeah, and then once he was in his round 5, he went up against Nate White, and Nate White had the Space Ghost that was useless and Plastic Man. So that's 50 points right there. So that's 1/6 of his team that can't function.
Oh yeah, because he can't even go off the map then to swap into like a nifty equipment. Yeah, that's just.
Yeah, so that's 50 points of his build that just can't be used.
Oof.
Yeah.
My big thing is I'm just worried that people see this and that, you can grab Beetlejuice for $20. I think what are Kongs? $20 also?
30? Maybe.
30?
Yeah. But see, that's their entire argument is that they would rather pay that than the 200 for Panther. And I'm like, Panther isn't needed if that figured, it's
right. I think it's supposed to be like a cheaper entry point, but the problem is that it just makes other things not playable. So
yeah,
I'm really worried.
So
what we're going to see here.
Like I have no problem.
Ants wins in 3 of his 5 games. He went up against teams that couldn't do what their team did.
And then coming out of Origins, what do you see this? If you're a player that wasn't able to make Origins, but you're excited to start playing in the Champion Clix Open regionals that are coming up, like what do you see out of this? To me, that says that there's a list of players or a list of pieces that you just can't even play. They're just not options, right? If nothing gets addressed with any of these,
yeah, so they're gonna go with the Juice Vengeance Kong team because that's gonna be the cheapest access point. And we've seen it now. Everyone can't try at these teams well. Like we saw it at the event in Texas, where somebody played a Spirit of Vengeance with Beetlejuice, and I think they went 2 and 3. And I think that really hurts it. The whole entire thing, where it's like, see, it's fine. No, that doesn't mean that it's fine. It's when you have the players like Isaac, and then Ant, and then Adam, who are good players, and they show you like what these things can do. Like that's what you need to be more focused on, instead of seeing players play this team and not win with it. Because that goes into less about the team and more about them being a newer player.
And now, does that honestly say something right there too? Because a lot of arguments are it's really good for new players. Well, it's not new players that are doing well with them. It's seasoned players that are finding that he's the most broken piece and then playing him.
Yeah, that's the entire point. Yeah, it's because the newer players, it's the way that he stops the game from functioning as HeroClix, not being able to charge or running shot or do things that are tied to power actions. Like you can't do that. It's more than just the perplex and all that crap. That I think that's the main problem is him not allowing you to actually functionally play HeroClix. And then that's where the funny argument is. It's like HeroClix used to be. No, it's not. You used to always be able to running shot energy explosion. I don't know what you're talking about.
Punch a wall or shoot a wall.
Yeah, that's the entire argument there. But yeah, no, and I think that actually does help the argument that he's not newer player friendly. It's you're going to get those experienced players that are going to know how to really tap into how to make it oppressive.
And so then I just want to make a point without, I'm not trying to like take away from any of like the top four or the players. Like, I just want to say that you're taking good players that are playing this piece that is obviously a problem, and they're doing well with them. So you're not even seeing new players take this piece and do well with them. But what you're doing is taking players that travel to an event and, you know, they're seeing that their teams that they wanted to play, that they were excited about, just aren't going to do well, and then they're going to get stomped. And why are you going to these events? So again, I don't think that helps anything. It doesn't help grow anything.
No, that was my thought, was that the three of the top four that did play him main force, like, could have played anything else and still probably did just as well.
Yeah.
But that was their, I mean, you know, it's all choice, and I get playing the most effective thing. I just, like I said, they could have played any other team and still probably did as well. Like, Isaac still probably would have landed in second had he played something else too.
So it's not
Isaac Crab, yeah.
It's not the piece that's needed for them, you know, and it's not helping it's not helping new players enter the game. It's not doing anything positive for the game.
Well, yeah, and then you had Adam play, because somebody played the main force Odin. They did the Legacy Odin. And this time what he did is he built a team to protect Odin from Juice on the sideline, just to figure out that, oh no, I'm playing as a main force Juice, and so he just got decimated.
That was like the one thing I learned quickly, was how to deal with him when he's on board and he's not sideline. Is you have to adjust like how you operate. So
yeah, and Odin just becomes a sitting duck at that point. Sadly,
I don't think he's just a sitting duck, but you obviously strip a lot of what he does out, which sucks.
Yeah, for 150 points though, with no move and attack, because he can't even sidestep now. He can't make his Ravens.
And when you're investing, it's half your build, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, when he's still at 21 and like you can outrange that team heavily, you can at least still do something. So it's not, I mean, he's not nothing, but yes, I know that like a lot of his stuff is tied into his point cost. So like, yeah, it's not great. It's just
what you and Chad Carson, I think, are the only people I've seen play him. Were you able to beat Beetlejuice?
I killed him. Yeah, I didn't beat Rob Olger, but I did kill Beetlejuice.
So when you sat down at a table playing Odin and you are up playing against Beetlejuice, your reaction is what?
Take him outside and shoot him.
So not a big deal.
It's just, I've just learned to deal with it. It's not like it's an enjoyable experience. It's just I have to compensate. So
we're getting numbers here, Dan. What's your win-loss record when people bring in Juice?
I don't know. I think I'm 3-2.
For 100 points on your main force build, you have a good chance of taking away most of the field.
Yeah. Bad for the game.
Yes. All right. Anything else that you guys want to add?
It was nice to see so many people at Origins for an event, as well as Silver. What was it, 29 people on a Thursday? That was great.
Yeah, and it was the first time back at Origins, so overall, definitely a successful event.
The event looked like it was fun. The coverage was amazing for people that couldn't make it. I mean, it was even enjoyable remotely. I want to give all the credit in the world to them being back at Origins and hopefully continuing to spotlight Silver as a definite event at all major WizKids events.
We've only seen things grow, so hopefully this is just the start of this getting bigger as well. All right, let's move on to the listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody!
First, we have McConnell Lamar. Hey, gents, I hope you are all well. It was great to hear the Origins breakdown last week. We have the Champion Clix Tropical Regional at Highlander Games in New Jersey on 7/19. I have been building, but I feel I should pause until 7/3 in case there are any watchlist updates. What do you think are the most likely things to get addressed? I'm hoping for, obviously, Beetlejuice to get addressed, both sideline and main force. It'd be great to be able to play the teams that I want to actually play again. Rivalry can go away. Cannon event can get errated to when the KO is from an opposing effect. We should see, a spot nerf, hopefully. And we've talked about the Spirit of Vengeance Red Hulk, just have his pilot become unique. Do you guys think there's any better fixes for that? Let's just start there. I'll go over my list of stuff first.
So it's just any pilot that can pick more than one should have to pick separate, like they should not have the same name. That's like it. Or at least they shouldn't have the same collector number. Plain and simple.
What if we went even a step further and said just your sideline was unique?
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that either. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, that's because Destroyer's in the same boat. He can pick multiple pilots. There's who knows if I haven't looked at it, but anything that can pick multiples of the same thing should not be able to. Like, it's just you have to pick something different.
Well, pilots. The difference with Destroyer, they don't come out though, do they? When he dies, or do they?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, they do.
They do still. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you want to use characters with different powers because you want to be able to, so him and Red Hulk play differently because you want multiple pilots that are different because you want to be able to use different powers for his free.
Well, I personally want that with Vengeance too, because I want CCE, Prob, Outwit, Perplex, or whatever else I can get on there, or Shape Change. Like, so I'm gonna want to play different pilots. I'm not gonna want to play 4 of the same thing.
No, I know, but it's different than how Red Hulk functions as a figure with the 4 same pilots.
It's more about how you can exploit him, not the powers you can make. So because you can choose when to pop them out
versus Destroyer's only going to pop them out when he dies. Yeah.
And then just going backwards on this list, and then I'll keep going here. But I think we all agree that Spot should get a nerf, right?
Yeah.
Or actually, Pete, did you chime in there about the pilots for Spirit of Vengeance?
I think the pilot mechanic is super cool. I just think it needs to be refined a little bit. I think having something where you can't have the same set number is perfect. I think he's still an amazing piece. I still think you get a great choice of pilots for him. You can get every power you want, and he's still very playable with 4 unique pilots.
So I think we all agree that he's fine as is, as long as the pilots get switched. Otherwise, you can leave him alone, and he's a very great piece that's been added.
And I don't necessarily have a problem with being able to call in one Thanos at his back end. I don't really have an issue. I don't really take issue with that. 4 is obnoxious, but I don't necessarily think 1 is a problem.
Yeah, same. What about Spot? How would you guys nerf him if he gets a nerf?
I'm not as keen on that because if you take Rivalry out of the equation, he's still deadly, but not nearly as potent.
Even without Rivalry, I still think he is potent when you're essentially able to do the yo-yo. I think they just need to remove that because he's already going to be able to attack the starting area. But bringing your opponent to your starting area is just, he does not need to do that.
Yeah, I get to that. I was just thinking about he should still be able to attack through the marker and stuff, but maybe the pullover.
Absolutely. I just think that they just redact the entire second part of his speed power with the double slashes. Just get rid of that.
I'd like it if he just wasn't able to be equipped, because I think that being able to pop him people over you hit is still kind of cool, but if you took away the ability to equip him, now he's not as stupid broken, because that's all it's doing anyway, is exploiting how far you can get.
You don't even need
but with this is that it's going to be encouraging you to be just sticking in your starting area if he's able to bring it. So this way, if you completely stop that, he can go ahead and attack from the starting area, but it's only him. It's not him bringing you over and then just poisoning the crap out of someone.
If he stays in his starting area, then how is he getting that thing further?
You would still do the same thing. You just do a TK now. That's it. You
No,
TK.
I'm talking about still letting him be equipped. I'm saying that I don't think you take away the ability to be equipped.
I just don't see him being as much of a problem just when you're TKing him.
If you make it to where he can't even be equipped, he's almost becomes unplayable at that point.
But he's still dangerous by being able to bring someone close to you. You can still get that thing around, but if you take away his ability to be equipped, it's going to take you at least 3 turns to get across the map, right?
Yeah, I just like getting rid of the bringing things over.
I think that's neat. It's definitely too much when he's equipped. So we have the same issue with just different fixes for it, I think.
Yeah.
Dan, where did you say you landed on that exactly with a fix?
Somewhere in the middle. I don't know, because like I don't really see an issue with him being equipped. Yes, the pullover thing is ridiculous, but at the same time, without rivalry, I feel like that stunts that a lot harder, especially with how heavy the alpha stuff is. So I don't know. It's a toss up, honestly, for that one. I just don't know like the most effective way to, because I would want to take a scalpel to him. I don't want to make him like basically he goes from like where he is now to being nothing. So I want him to still be playable, but I don't want him to be like the dominant force type of thing.
So I will say that his keywords are ruler and scientist, so they're not terrible, but it's so easy with Mysterio. You're a 12 attack, you move all the way over there, you make him you give him Battle Fury with Zenzi, and then you outwit Super Senses, and then you're like guaranteed to hit pretty much. So I will say, even without rivalry, it's not that hard to hit. I don't know how many times I missed. I don't even know if I missed, honestly.
He's only doing 3 damage at that point if you're attacking from your starting area. He's not bringing something over. Like, sure, you can bump it up with, empowers and everything, but
I just hate the whole.
I would say probably the yoinking over thing. I don't actually mind his whole like attacking from the marker and doing that kind of shenanigans, honestly, because that feels.
No, it's a yoinking where you're just doing 7 or 8 poison damages, so like it just completely like ruins anyone that's wants to play a one-man army.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the point why I don't like him yoinking. Is like I understand like why you want to keep it, but him yoinking it with the Sandman and the Mysterios, it just it's an instant loss for a one-man army. Nearly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So, but like I said, and I like how he operates. Otherwise, yeah, it's probably that is the biggest thing, is the just being able to pull somebody cross map. So, because like otherwise, he's not doing terribly much with that one flurry, or is it? Yeah, or I guess you can no, because if you're getting him all the way over there and then flipping him with the marker, you're only doing the one flurry. So yeah.
Yeah. Pete, where do you stand on Spot?
I think the ability to move pieces is super cool, but I think it tends to be more problematic than just equipping him. Somebody wants to play him at 70 points with a bike. I mean, I'll fight him, but watching your piece get pulled over and just get annihilated
without dice being rolled.
Yeah.
All right. What about canon event? I think we all agreed already, right? Just make the KO from an opposing effect.
Yeah, yes. That's what it should have been. It should have been a defensive tool, not a exploitable offensive tool to even make the alpha better.
Super exploitable. What about rivalry? Does it just get Amit's tombed?
Oh yeah.
Because it's already been errated once. Like the only errata that you'd be able to do is that like it's going to give you an attack roll. So that way they actually have a chance to super sense out of it.
Oh, if it's not a crit miss, you said?
No, it's so you choose it instead of rolling it, you hit them, but
so you
it becomes hit.
Okay.
That way they can, mastermind it or super sense out of it.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
that's a little better. And then all right, so that's that. I don't think we need to talk about Beetlejuice anymore. What about Rivals Respawn? So that was on my list too. Do you guys have any issue with Rivals Respawn, the map?
Yes.
A map
Yeah,
that just
that's-
damages you seems like it's super exploitable. I don't think it's been out enough to really be on anyone's radar
It's
to
pink
get
squares.
anything on the watch list though.
It's the fact that like if they would take damage, 3 or more damage from a single attack, you just place them in a respawn room. Like it's that part that's just very easily because you're gonna go second and just like, okay, nope, now you can't get me because I'm gonna be in this room, this room. And yeah, it's only 3 damage.
You don't think the mind control into lava and blocking things off is an issue?
No, there's a lot wrong with the map. I just don't think that orange square should exist anymore. We've already seen plenty of orange squares that are broken and just making with the maps. Like there's always gonna be teams that benefit from it, and yeah.
It seems like it's going to be a lot easier to set up an area where like you just your team or your opponent can't place their pieces. Otherwise, they take the unavoidable damage and they go. So you're blocking off the rest of the map.
For instance, Spot, for instance, being able to place. You can just hit targets and place them into that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So are the starting areas the respawn rooms? Is that the deal?
No, the respawn rooms, I guess, technically would be, I guess.
They look like old starting areas. We played a battle royale on it. It's a fun map. I just think it's going to be exploited.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is the orange squares it feels like Bifrost all over again, where you just I'm going to mind control you, and then you're going to go in there, and then you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah, and again, that was a terrible experience. As a new player, that was something that people were doing to me as a new player, and it's just like I remember going to the event and being like, "Why am I even playing this game when people are just walking me off the cliff?" That doesn't make me want to play.
Yeah, and you can even exploit that even more by in-capping them to where they can't get tokens off. So
they can't move. Yep.
And they're actually going to be taking one. Because you put them in there with 2 tokens, they're going to be taking one on your turn, one on their turn, another one on their turn.
Well, don't they
when
get
they clear, and then another one on your turn? So that's 4 unavoidable they're going to be taking before they can even move their character out.
Don't they go to a respawn room after they take the damage?
No, it takes 3 or more damage from an attack.
I thought if they got damaged by the lava too.
No, it just says when a friendly character takes 3 or more damage from a single attack. So yeah, they'll just be sitting there for 4 turns taking 4 unavoidable.
No. It's so no. When you one orange square is a
your next turn.
Each turn, you take one unavoidable, or you place any friendly characters in a lava terrain into the respawn room. Then you deal them 1 unavoidable.
So you can't get stuck in the lava, but it is just an extra ping at the very end, right?
Yes.
And then they get transferred to a respawn room.
Yep. So the one thing I do find interesting about it is it's a funny way around canon event, because if you put them in the lava, they can't go immune. So that is, to me, interesting. But yeah, the map still seems exploitable.
Pete,
and it's more rules that you're gonna have to explain to newer players. And this is almost identical to the Brock's Bunker map, except there's less of these out than Brock's Bunker because Brock's Bunker was on a Winna map. And so now you're gonna have players that like have never even really seen this, and they're gonna go to an event, and now you're gonna have to explain to them what this map does.
Yeah, because these ones are only available for about a month when H4H is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to get cycled in. I don't think they're going to get cycled into the Winna maps, but I don't know if they're going to be available on gamer mats for purchase still or what.
So these ones, usually the Scott Porter H4H maps, all of them become available again to go towards the charity when the event comes back around next year. Like you could buy all the old big ones and the small ones and everything.
Yeah, but that's a whole year though. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be the same thing for Worlds, is that this isn't going to be legal. But probably not, because everyone's not playing it. You saw there was only 4 teams, so probably not. They're just going to leave it alone, even though that it does cause tons of issues.
I think, it'll depend on the regionals to see if it's exploited or not, but that's really the last chance, I think, before Worlds, because it's going to go through August. And then we had about 5 weeks, I think, 4 or 5 weeks until Worlds when all of the CCOs end.
Yep.
All right, so I also think the Perdegaton is just a little bit too much. What about that as far as that? I think we've talked about the placement effect, maybe only being if he's 40 or 60 points.
Yeah, he shouldn't be able to do that for 20 points on top of everything else that he already does.
What about? I also have Ares and Copycat. Ares, I think more though. It's just the stupid sideline active stuff is just way too many interactions that make it game ending and not fun. The Pogs like Copycat and Phoenix, they're super powerful, but a lot of this stuff just dies to one single pulse wave. Copycat can be a little tricky because she's getting those rollouts and the potential to have reducers and all that stuff, but a lot of the stuff just kind of dies.
I do like a fix for Ares, but I doubt he's going to be on the list. But it'd be cool if they change it to once per game, when a friendly character that can use Blades Cause Fangs makes a close attack, they may target all characters within 1 square, all opposing characters within 1 square with that attack.
I would like that. No more pin particles, no more colossals.
Yeah, and like now, okay, you're not going to be able to exploit it, with Flash Raptor of everything, but it's like you're still able to attack multiple figures.
Yeah,
and it's still really good.
I like that fix.
I mean, that's fine. That's what I thought like Ares was, and then I'm like, oh, you can giant reach it. That's really bonkers. Yeah. So, and I'd still play it even if they changed it to that.
It's still good.
He'd still sit on my sideline in perpetuity.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be what it is. Pete, what's your Ares fix?
I have no problem with it being just 1 square adjacent, honestly, because that's, I think, what the intention was. But with being able to do the giant size or giant reach and then add on to it the terrain, like that's just wild.
Yeah, giant reach 4.
What about Copycat? I think that you could maybe just select a character within 3 squares and you just get that character's power.
I was gonna say,
yeah, because that's who she was. She didn't copy everybody at once. Mm-hmm. She's not like a Mazo. She picked someone, and that's who she copied.
Right. It's not Hope Summers.
Yeah, that's literally her power. She just picked one character.
Mm-hmm. And that would still be really good.
Oh, absolutely would.
She's not unique right now, correct?
Correct.
No, she's not.
Right. So that's kind of a little bit of a problem too. Potentially.
Yeah, at the very least, I think unique, but I wouldn't mind if it was just 1 also. That's still really good for 15 points. Her and, like we were talking about before, her and the Phoenix Pog are very strong together. Do you guys have anything else on the list? Miles, you want to start with anything else that I did not have? Or did I name them all?
This is going to be, I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but
don't say it.
I have to be non-biased.
Don't do it.
I'd like to see the barrel be within 2. I think within 4 is a tad bit too much.
I'd be fine with
within
that.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, the barrel could get toned down a bit. That'd be fine.
Because if you look at before the barrel saw play, it was all about the stop signs because they were free, and those were within 2, and those were still like rough to deal with.
The problem with those though is that you could easily just put them wherever you wanted, and they made barrier. But I think 2 is good.
Also, can we fix the phone booth so that it's the character holding it, regardless of if you're a multi-base character or not, please?
That new ruling is so stupid too.
Yeah,
it's like I understand.
I thought it said you couldn't be considered adjacent to yourself, so that's. But apparently,
I think it's the wording of the thing.
Yeah,
right?
The phone booth. Yep. No, it's the ruling of effect terrain on top of it.
No, it says adjacent characters can use shape change. You're never adjacent to yourself, so you shouldn't be able to use shape change.
No, Dan's right.
It's the.
I know. I understand how they ruled it, but it's like no, if you're holding, you shouldn't be able. Yeah.
It should just be worded that a character holding this, all characters adjacent to the character holding this object can use shape change. That's it. Like, because then the guy holding it doesn't matter how many. If you're a 2x2 or what, you don't have shape change.
Miles, did you have any other ones?
No. Then another reason too why I wanted the barrel to be 2 instead of 4 is because the same thing with the 1x2s is with Daredevil.
Yeah,
because that becomes a bigger square because it's now a 1x2, and so I think 2 squares would be fine with that.
Who does traffic barrel with Daredevil?
World. That's what Dylan was able to. Yeah.
No, I do that all the time. Is Dan and
absolutely. I know.
Pete,
I just wanted to,
all the time.
I got real good at killing daredevils.
Dan, do you have anything else extra to add on top of that list?
Well, they fixed the goat thing. I was gonna say that was like my other thing that was like still, but they fixed the goat thing because they clarified them, so they're okay now because you can't just like hopscotch across the map and then make a bunch of attacks. So I don't have anything else really.
Pete, do you have anything else that is toxic and should be addressed? Potential toxic?
No, I really just want to reiterate, rivalry should not be a thing in HeroClix. It's like I get it. I get kind of the idea, but 5 points for a guaranteed hit if you share a keyword. It's just wild.
When I can guarantee the hit into a too dangerous arrow, that feels pretty filthy. I'm like, all right, I've obliterated your whole team.
Yep.
That's the one other thing too, is the arrows should have always been just from range attacks. They're still great just from range attacks.
And then the other part is, should I just pause until July 3rd? I think we're all kind of like currently talking ideas, but that's kind of like it until it gets watch listed, because there's really not a point until we actually get like a watch list out there. But if that answer is nothing, like it was before Nats, it's going to be really hard to be excited about building competitive teams. Then number 2, what teams should people be preferred for in the current 300 Modern? Noting this may change based on any watchlist updates. I'd say you just got to play boring basic pieces with no fun free actions. So just things with hypersonic speed or do high damage with a simple charge or running shot. And just, yeah. Do you guys have anything else to add to that?
Yeah.
There's really not
that's where it is. I mean, you can play, there's a few things out there, but that's pretty much all you're going to be able to. You can't really do anything smart or, anything. That's not just straightforward, unfortunately.
The different tactic is really just, play basic.
You might make cut depending on your matchups, but there's things in the meta that are just winning at a high rate that your team does nothing to. So I guess it depends on your mindset. If you're going into an event to win, or if you're going to an event to just make cut, I think that's where your teams are going to be different. Mm-hmm. If you're going in there to win, you are pretty much limited to like 1-2 builds realistically.
Dan, do you have any other preferred teams?
What
would do well in the current 300 Modern competitive? What should you be looking at, like a type?
I still think Collector's good. I know people say like, oh, against like Juice, he still just hits things. So I don't really like. Yes, losing the collection token thing does suck, but Collector's still really good, and he's probably one of the most durable pieces we have in Modern. That's like what I would consider a 10 pole. So
let's say nothing gets fixed, and now Spot uses Rivalry to bring him back over, and he also has Zenzi to give him Battle Fury, and then he just gets poisoned 7 times.
I mean, that's just like, hey, that's right. Yeah, well, obviously, like Rivalry is a problem, but I still think he's good. Yes, like obviously, you can say that about a lot of things with Rivalry. So,
no, that's what we're saying. Yeah, if nothing gets changed right now, like that's when you look at it and you.
What teams aren't going to be getting chewed through? Like, what has a better opportunity of doing well? And that's why. And I think we said this too. How many collectors were played in? At Nationals?
Not that many, but I also think he just wore off. Like a lot of people switched things. Like even Logan played not collector, so
he played Spot.
Yeah.
But where did he actually land? The actual piece. He got a decent amount of teams, didn't he? He was on 5 teams, and so 5 teams is still, for what we saw, 5 teams is still pretty good, right? Main force.
Did he have a winning record? Did he have a winning record at least, or no?
He's only top 32 right now, and I'm looking for him. There was one team that was top 32 of the 68 teams with 3 wins. So one team had 3 wins.
Okay, so at least he had a winning. He had a winning thing, but like
So
he just
the
he
rest
wasn't
of the
really.
teams had less than 3 wins.
Okay.
So you go to nationals with your Ultra Chase Collector team that you just pulled. You're super excited to play, and then you play a Beetlejuice team, or someone brings them in, and now you don't get your collection tokens, or somebody just hits you and brings you across the map and poisons you. That's what I'm saying. Like this is just, it's very closed at the same time. There's people that are trying stuff, but there's, in the end right now with these few things that are a problem, it's going to start closing fast.
Yeah, was it Michael Donitz that did that team, that the Prime Kingpin team?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you just you see like what, like that team can't function against like the top 2 teams essentially.
And I would like to point out it was Michael Donick that brought it to top 8, not Joe Ruffing.
Oof,
Yes.
man. Just kicking the man while he's down.
Top 16.
Top
But yeah,
16, sorry.
his team doesn't function against the top 4 of that. So if you look at it, what his team does, he can't play his team against the top 4 teams.
Mhm.
There's no sidestep. There's no making more multiple mans. There's no team player.
So back to the question real quick.
I don't think I ever really disputed that fact. Like,
So but let's say you're telling somebody, what would you tell somebody to bring to the next big event if they were going to do well and nothing got changed?
Either a copy of the top 4 teams, pick whichever one you want to play, or just expect that you're not going to do well, or you can go super simple and then you're probably not going to do well either way.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it is, right? You're
That's where
like,
I'm at.
So essentially what you're telling players is, well, you better hope like heck your matchups are favorable. And that's part of it, like matchups always have to be favorable, but you can't, like, again, 100 points and most other teams can't do what they're designed to do.
So I think we're at agreeance on that. So we're going into question number 3. What kind of HeroClix content do you think is lacking in the HeroClixosphere? Gameplay from a certain format, gameplay with certain types of figures, in-depth strategy discussions, or something else? I think we got a lot of games streaming lately. I think we need more team building and synergy videos. What do you guys think is lacking the most?
Right there, the synergy videos. And it's something that I really wish that I had extra time to do, because it's just so much I want to do, where you just, instead of building a team, you just, highlight a figure and like what they can do, and like here's some synergies that work really well. And so you're encouraging them to team build with those ideas in mind, instead of just giving them a cookie cutter team to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we need more stuff like that. There's some fun team building things out there where, people are just building more like thematic teams where, it's like an Avengers team for fun or something like that. But when you're starting to be a little bit more creative and you're using like a generic keyword or just pieces that work well together, I think that's what we would benefit more from.
Or like figure spotlights, where you're going to put a figure and like, all right, this is like, I'm looking at Michael Donnich's team right now. Like, so the Chase Loki, like you're like, okay, we're going to highlight this figure. And so you're like, you're going to give him Chthon guy, you can do all these things. And then you're like, okay, and this is how you're able to work. Like, just like figure highlights to just get those juices flowing of making them want to team build. I think you can give ideas of what to throw with it, but yeah, just figure highlights that just, aren't the most well-known pieces, or something that does something fun that nothing else does, and to really highlight like how you can make that more unique or fun to play.
Dan, do you think there's anything missing?
I actually like Miles's idea of like talking about the actual like character, because we always like, you see like on the back of the card, you're like, well, this is where this character was pulled from, like the comic itself, and like the whole idea is like we're pulling these characters from comics or movies or something. Like we're getting more like other things now with like the Hasbro stuff and other like open like IP and stuff now, but like a lot of it is comics. So like you could talk about like, hey, this is the run where this character is pulled from, and this is like the this is how cool this run or story was, things like that. So, or like when they pull like an entire, like we're talking like Land and Legacy, like, I'm sure these are all pulled from like similar stories or that they've appeared like similarly, right? Where it's like Sinestro Core War or Blackest Night or that type of thing. So
you'd want to see more
you
like
could actually
creative
even
stuff.
bring in new. Yeah, you'd be able to even bring in like new viewers because like you'd be able to cater to the comic book audience and like show them a little bit about HeroClix and maybe they get interested in something like that. And then also on the opposite where you got HeroClix fans that maybe you might interest them in getting into comics. So you're able to really blend what this HeroClix is it's this board game and superhero comics. You're able to really blend it together.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
I wish I had time because I just think that's something untapped that is not being done to really try and get those two audiences, because I think those two audiences are a lot more similar than people think.
Well, yeah, like I always described HeroClix as like it's chess with superheroes. So.
Yeah.
Pete, what would you want to watch?
I like the idea about the highlighted of the pieces, but I actually like an idea of like somebody doing like highlights of players building. Like how many great players do you have that play different things? Like you could get Nate White on and talk about how he goes about a team, or Pat Frazier or Azra Strife, and like have them go through like how do you analyze the meta and how do you prepare for what's upcoming? Because these are all people that generally play something different than what you're seeing.
Yeah.
So getting their insight into what they're looking for would just be amazing. Like pick their brains, right? Like, when Ricky Pragnano brought that team, I was blown away by it. Like I'm like, this is awesome. Like this is super fun. Like you're on the back of the board, you're attacking, you're interacting, you're doing things. And that's not something I ever would have put together. So getting the players themselves to talk about how they go about things would be super cool.
I actually like a lot of those ideas, so don't take any of those, McConnell, because we're going to do them.
Yep. Copyrighted right now. I got the trademark in right now.
Yep. If you use any of those, you've stolen our idea. All right, going to Joseph Coleman Harrison. Is Alan Scott 048 broken? Seems like he completely nerfed so many pieces, and with the right shenanigans, body blocking with Pog Generation, Daredevil's Traffic Barrel, etc., how do you ever kill this piece? He can't really be collected if you play right, and Spot can never port him. Thanos from Pilots just can't hit him. Seems like one of the biggest troll pieces ever. I feel he's totally fine for 100 points. It's not like he shuts off free actions from anywhere on the map, right? Alan Scott is totally fine for 100 points. Good 100-point piece.
He's 115 points because you're going to give him the Destroyer armor to give him the +2 defense and make him giant.
Sure.
So that way you're able to benefit by getting everything surrounding him for him to shoot over.
Can I play my team?
I really like this piece.
Can I play my team if he's on the map?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, you can do your things, yeah. So.
I
think it's nice to have this as something that can't get collected or, by non-adjacent characters. It's a gimmick that you're going to have to go all in on, and, placement's going to be really, really key to make sure that he's, not going to be able to be adjacent.
When a piece like him comes out, I think it opens up another build archetype, and I like that.
I mean, so he can't be targeted by non-adjacent. You still hit everything else around him, and then you come in with your close attacker. Like, yeah, I mean, that's really strong. Don't get me wrong, but like, he's definitely not unbeatable by any stretch.
Yeah, I think it's a totally fine
there's
tactic.
something there though to make. Yeah, there's still something there to make it like not OP, but top level.
Yeah, he's top level. He's great, and I think there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm pretty sure, like something like Energy Explosion can get around that trait, can't it? Because he becomes a target.
Should be, but if he has the Destroyer armor or Reducer, like it's still shaking off.
Yeah, he already has.
I know you want to have like Precision Strike or something to make sure you're clipping him, but that's what I mean. Like you if you have something like that.
So Precision Strike, Energy Explosion is gonna be the only thing that can deal with him.
Is it Protected Pulse Wave? I'm not looking at it right now.
Yes,
it is Protected Pulse Wave.
It is, okay.
So you're not doing that.
Pete, did you take a look at the Alan Scott that we're talking about?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I think there's definitely ways to use him very effectively in a competitive game, but I don't look at him and say he's impossible to deal with. You have a lot of really good close attackers, and that's basically what he's making you do is come up and fight him.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's why you just body block him.
And then top 5 pieces you are excited for from Lantern Legacy. For me, it's Alan Scott, Casey Green Lantern, Alan Scott, and then Harley Quinn Legacy. Honorable mention, Sinestro Colossal Legacy. I like that Alan Scott exists, but I'm really not even excited for him because I like the unique characters that just look cool. So I'm excited for pieces like Arkillo or Kilowog. Legacy Bleeze looks really cool. Legacy Black Lantern Firestorm. That guy I've looked at him for our monthly games a couple times. He looks really cool, just way overcosted. So I'm excited to see. We haven't seen what he does yet, have we?
No,
I don't think so.
He
He looks awesome though. And then Lobo. That's another piece we don't get that much of. But I do look forward to seeing your future stupid Alan Scott Prime Colossus Ghost Rider build though, Joe.
That's going to be awesome. For me, it's the Dexstar Legacy that was recently shown. I do like that piece. I've always liked that little guy. And then it's Norton.
Okay. Is he that great?
That's yeah. No, he's not. But it's.
But you're excited for him. So, that's fine.
So it reminds me of like when I first started, where I would just be able to play fun things and have a chance at winning because back then like you could just like make something like this dumb work. And so, is he going to work him competitive? No, just. But in the monthly games, it's going to be fun to play him. And
sure.
So, I'll oppress my children with him. So yeah,
that is something fun to do. Dan, what about you?
You took mine because I was excited for Lobo. This set is mostly a skip for me, to be fair.
What?
Yeah.
It's because there's a lot of free action, so it becomes useless.
No, I'm just like, it's not it's not characters that I was like super into. Like I like them. They're all neat. Don't get me wrong. Like it's a good set. It's not what I'm saying. I just won't be like picking up a lot of this stuff.
Man, I know like
that gives anyone the Green Lantern keyword and team ability.
I know like none of these characters or anything about them. I just know they look cool and they're named based off of that. I have no idea what any of them do.
I do like the Chase Guy Gardner is baller, and I was like, that's cool. I would like to try that once. So that was the piece that I saw, and I was like, oh, that's really neat. I like it. I saw it, and I also thought of
the red and is it Star Sapphire or?
Yeah, it's the Star Sapphire and the Red Lantern. Yep.
Yeah, he looks really cool. Being able to generate the two bystanders or whatever, 2 constructs.
Yeah, because I'll watch Pete generate 2 chainsaws and then whiff with both of them, and then he will be like, I'm never going to play this piece ever again.
Well, that'll happen.
Pete, what are you looking forward to in this
you
set?
only need to put 1 ring on him, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with Joe. I like Alan Scott a lot, but some of the legacies I'm really excited about. Dr. Midnight, I think, is super, super cool, especially on Black Lanterns. I also think that the legacy Simon Boz. Have you guys looked at him?
No, not yet.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on. I mean, Energy Seal deflects and traded. He has, if you miss your willpower, you get a free make a range attack, range combat expert.
You miss your willpower?
Yeah, so I'll be at least attacking with him. And then he's got some die manipulation too, which I really like too.
That is your thing. What about, he also asked about the biggest missed opportunities for legacy cards in your opinion. So War of Light 107, Kyle Rayner. What is BN?
Blackest Night.
Yeah.
Okay. Green Lantern, the starter set with the big green fist. DC 75th, Sinestro with the big flail. Kyle Rayner, Connell Lee with all the rings. That's a good one. Tie between Al Jordan from Elseworlds and Casey Lantern 064 Chase Alan Scott. I know he'd be $300, but who cares? Just look at that sculpt. For me, number 1 is Chip, and then any of the Wonder Woman 80 Lantern chases. I just don't feel like any of them really had their time to shine. They came in a really weird time, and I would have loved to see Dawnbreaker from Rebirth. That was a piece, again, didn't really get to see any time in any format because there was just nothing going on, but really cool piece. And I always forget his name. It's like Zed Gallus, the big head Black Lantern guy.
It's Gallus Zed.
Gallus Zed. That guy, for me, I think is just cool, but that's probably just because Harris did something cool with him. Miles, what about you for missed legacy cards?
Brother Warth from War of Light, 045.
Is that
Just so we
the
can get more Blue Lantern, the
elephant guy? Yeah, the elephant guy.
Yeah. And then Nort, missed opportunity. I designed him for you. I made him perfect.
I guess
That was a missed opportunity.
my thought would be the old Slosh Solomon Grundy, because since they made other figures actual Black Lanterns in name that weren't Black Lanterns initially, bring that guy back and make him a Lantern, because he was a Black Lantern for a little bit, and make him basically truly immortal, just like he's never gonna die.
That would be cool.
Yeah, as long as there's a grave hindering terrain marker on the map, he can't be KO'd or whatever. Put him on his last.
Something bonkers like that, because like him with the lantern ring just seems real stupid.
Pete, do you have any legacy cards that you feel like were missed opportunities, or pieces you would want?
Sinestro from a bunch of Sinestros. The one from Wonder Woman 80 is just such a great piece.
The purple one,
like still to this day. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, and the other one I would say was from DC 75th. I don't know where he came from, but the number 100 Sinestro, the White Lantern Corps one, the sculpt is super cool. I think you could do a ton of things because you're never playing that dude at 249 with his values now. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Didn't he win a major event? Didn't that Sinestro win a major event, that 100?
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
That was before my time.
Yeah, I remember. It was before. Between when I wasn't playing. I remember hearing something about like how ridiculous he was.
I guess my other one would be the Prime Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman 80. I feel like she was one of those that like was on the edge of greatness, but never. I feel like she never really saw it.
Oh, the Black Lantern one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they made her so that she doesn't get worse on her top click. Doesn't she lose like flurry or something like that?
I don't remember. I'd have to actually look.
I played a fun Black Lantern team a while back, and I feel like she heals quick with the right equipment and the way that Black Lanterns work.
So yeah,
her top click has just charge instead of charge flurry.
Yeah. So why would you want to heal? Like, you're hitting, so now you heal to the top click, but you can't flurry anymore. So they would need to change that. But that's a really cool piece I'd like to see, yeah. All right, Miles, where do I get pop dice?
Amazon.
Simple as
I'll
that.
order you a pair.
Dan, stop rolling with dice cups. Boom, roasted. Any clap back on that, Dan?
It's like the weakest roast I've ever seen. It's like a mild, like, half roast. Good try. Come back next week.
Redman, I beat you in silver. Boom, roasted. Joe, I thought we were sitting down and have a nice fun game, and turn 2, half my team was gone, and the piece that did that was immune. So next time I guess I'll know better, and there will be a next time. Would it be okay for me to ask my opponent not to roll with Chase Booster, aka bowling ball dice, before the game starts? Actually, a serious question. It wastes so much time because they fall off the table every other roll, and they pose a galactic level threat to the well-being of my pieces. So Joe actually said the big Chase Booster dice are too heavy for him, and once they fall off the table every few times, he just can't pick them up anymore off the floor. So extra time is wasted because now his opponent has to go around the table to pick up the dice and retrieve them.
Yeah.
So so this is exactly why I use the dice cup, Joe, because then my dice don't roll anywhere besides where I place them, and then they won't hit your pieces. Plain
Do
and
they
simple.
fit in the dice cup? There's no way they don't end up stacked like at least a third of the time.
Did I say I use those size of dice? No, I use regular dice.
No, but I'm curious.
I
You have to use a 7-Eleven Big Gulp cup to roll this dice in a dice cup. You can't roll them otherwise.
I don't understand why they made them so big, because if you look at the dice and token packs, like they were just a regular size dice.
Yeah,
like,
a regular die, yeah.
did you have to make them, 4 times the size?
Dramatic effect.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I like the galactic level threat to the well-being of his pieces. I agree. Like, bro, keep him off the map.
That's what
I was
I
followed over no matter what. You
was
should
gonna
have
say. That's what I
help.
fear from metal dice. Every time I hear metal dice hit the table, I'm like, "Oh, please, no."
Your pieces have
Yeah,
to feel
rip
like
your
they're
map.
Indiana Jones in the scene where the boulder's chasing him.
I'm bringing. If Dan's gonna bring back his dice cup, I'm bringing a big gold cup to roll my dice in.
I do like the big gulp idea.
Yeah.
So Pete, though, you do bring the goat to every game, right? So you hit that button every time before you roll a dice.
Dude, the screaming goat's a real thing. It's awesome. Brevin has one now. I gave it to his son.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really not as loud as I'd hope it'd be.
It's loud
but it
enough,
is
trust
wildly
me.
funny.
He keeps
I also
finding
have
it.
one.
Yeah.
You're supposed to hit it and then roll your dice.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And also, if you're listening, just a reminder that 048 Ghost Rider is the best piece of all time. Keep hating. Love you, brother, and still stoked to have seen you at Nats. Yeah, as very publicly despises Ghost Rider, I personally don't get the hate because I think he's proved that he's a fine piece. I think he doesn't see more play because too many people are just confused by 1x2s. Would you agree with that, Pete?
That can be confusing. That can be. My hate of 1x2s more has to do with the fact that they carry around barrels quite often around here.
Who does that?
All of us. Do you use barrel, Pete?
Yeah, I had to conform.
Okay. Making sure.
It's too important. Like, it's just too important of a piece right now.
Are going to Mark Bird. Ollie is on fire lately. Love to see the next generation coming through. Isaac AB better keep his eyes peeled for Ollie coming through the ranks. Just checked my emails this morning and had a response from Wizzos letting me know that Heralds of Galactus has now been obviously pushed back to Q3 with no set date and to watch socials. It made me wonder if some of the releases getting nudges back may actually have to do with rotation ease. Lantern Legacy is now August release, which would likely put X-Men 97 to October. I'd assume it's more to do with tariffs than them thinking forward to rotation. But I do like that it helps stuff stay in Modern longer. I'm really hoping that X-Men 97 doesn't see a delay, or at the very least, it's just a brand new set for Worlds, even if it doesn't release for another month or whatever. Lantern Legacy looks awesome, but getting a brand new set during a big event for Sealed is just so much fun.
Well, and Lantern Legacy will be new technically because they pushed that back to the end of August. So
end
it'll
of
be
August?
3 weeks.
Yeah, it was end of August. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like what 20 something. But yeah,
Then it would be legal though for Worlds, and it would be the sealed set. It just seems I don't know.
I mean, that's what they did with Master of Time because Master of Time didn't that come out at the end of August?
Did
I
it?
think so.
Is that how? Should it have been
It was
legal? And they
released-
said
yeah,
no,
it was released a week or two before Worlds. They said no, it's not legal.
or was it just pre-releases started happening?
No,
think it was
released it too.
Oh no, it was released.
Release
Okay,
was the week before.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was excited for X-Men 97 with the way it was originally supposed to be lined up. So I'll be sad if it doesn't become the World set, or at least like a way to play battle royales with it or something. On that note, although the community has worked out for the most part the secret sauce on rotations other than Iconics, should Wizzos just be clear on their rotation schedule so the average player can be more prepared? I'd like to see that, but I would like to know what's the plan with Iconics because what is it, the Thanos one? Has that been out for how long now? 3 years?
Yeah. A few of them have been out for 3 years. The Spider-Man, Thanos, Wolverine, sad Wolverine.
Emo.
Yeah, Emo-verine.
Emo-verine.
Yeah. And then the DC ones we actually had. So this will be the third Worlds for
Batman. The Dark
Batman Knight. Yeah.
Knight.
Yeah, it would be nice to just know what the idea behind all those were as far as rotation goes.
Mm-hmm. That would be nice.
I eagerly await the Bookwood report every episode, but honestly, I'm finding even more joy to hear Pete's frustrations when Bookwood just hasn't had much or any buying activity. Just like this week, actually. Pete, what has been the most surprising purchase you have reported other than a phone and a dog?
I will say, in Bookwood's defense, last week he came in at the end like a fire rocket with all the lantern batteries. But things have to evolve over time. The Bookwood report might now be a shared report occasionally with the rest of the team jumbo package, and that's keeping in the loop with Looper, or the Looper report. We haven't really worked out the things yet, but the degenerate spending is alive and well here. The most surprising purchase, we took away the dog. The dog was the most surprising one, and then it turned into a great poll on our webpage, which was great.
And what name the dog?
If he doesn't pick it up, I'm going to put it up for
Barkwood.
cancellation.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything comes to an end eventually.
It does.
Unfortunately. I can't really think of anything else. What else would Bookwood tell us that he bought besides the phone and the dog?
What did he buy after the Magneto helmet?
Oh,
the Magneto helmet was a great purchase too. And him wearing it was amazing.
Good old Book.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else really.
All right, and then number 4, I'd like to hear collectively as a podcast for everyone to agree who would be which wrestler as part of Degeneration X and Y. Bonus points if there's a consensus on China that is not Redmond's wife. I just want Triple H. Where do you guys stand on that, and where you guys would be?
I'm China.
Not China. Get out of here. No one's actually picking China.
No, if I'd have to be badass Billy Gunn.
Okay.
Just one of the Outlaws.
I mean, I have to be the Road Dogg Jesse James. And I think we all know that Dan is the handsomest man in cliX, so he's got to be HBK.
Rick Rude. Be Rick Rude.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
So where are we going?
Dan's the kind of guy who wear tights with people's significant others on them. He's Rick Rude.
All right.
Oh, damn.
There we go.
I got downgraded? This is rough.
No, Rick Rude is not a downgrade. No.
Okay.
Yo, Rick Rude is not a downgrade.
Are we making Aaron X-Pac then?
Oh,
No,
Ollie
Aaron's
was
China.
Aaron can be China.
Oh, that's right.
Ollie's been X-Pac.
Yep.
Aaron can be China. Yes, there's your answer.
Yes, Aaron's China. We all agree, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Okay,
I
we
can't
got
wait
bonus.
for Aaron to hear this. Oh, this is gonna be fantastic.
Aaron, do you have anything to say about that? Silence is confirmation.
Yes.
I was waiting for the goats to pop up for some reason.
Now, Ron.
Those guys.
China. We're now introducing him as China.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Aaron
then-
China Morgan.
All right, then we got Rob Peterson. I'm in no way a Keaton defender, but is it possible that your Origins report had any confirmation bias? You said only 1.5 of teams or some similar number were able to beat Juice, but have you looked at past pre-Juice events where people were playing largely the same team compositions? If there was a team that dominated in the past, what was the win rate against those teams? I'm not trying to call you out or anything, get finicky about data being accurately represented if statistics are in question. Miles, do you want to go into detail a little bit more with what you were saying last time?
Yeah, so that 1.5% was accurate but inaccurate at the same time because that was 65 teams because I minus the Juice. And so since only one of those 65 teams beat Juice, that's what that 1.5%. If you go through the 3 Juice teams, they played 16 unique teams. So it's actually, with one team winning, is actually a 6.7%. But everywhere else, the pre-Juice events, I have been keeping a track of it. Been really close. I'm not able to track like where the Blackheart was because they didn't put that data into HC units. So I can't see that win percentage or anything. All I see is just the players, not even their teams. So I'm unable to actually get that data to be accurate.
Blackheart was pretty high though. Like it was. I mean, that was still a pretty high win percentage on that. So
I can't. I just haven't been able to see it for sure. Like this is because HC units realistically has only been keeping track of it since Worlds. The only team that did just like this was the 4 Ivies at last year's Nationals.
Yep.
And you saw what happened to that. So that's the only team that came even close and has actually won the event.
And then, so obviously Joe did win, and Joe's
Yeah.
team, obviously, its composition just works well against Main Force.
Yeah.
Heaton.
Yeah, one specific, with the Spirit of Vengeance.
And not just that, Ghost Rider and Colossus also just play well against. Like, yeah, he can't do his mind control, but he's got Battle Fury and he hits for 5. So you don't really care that you can't do your mind control right now because you're going through his shape change and you're just hitting him for a lot. So
Yeah, the actual number is 6.7% when you look at the 16 unique teams that played the 3 Juice teams, because Joe was the only one to beat all of them.
Do you guys remember how many teams had Kong on them was that Nationals last year?
Oh, it was a lot. It was like over 50% of the field or something. It was some wild number. It was really high.
I don't know if they.
It wasn't in HC
We didn't
units.
have-
I just looked. Yeah, if they didn't do it in there, so I don't even know where you would be able to
Worlds.
look up
It wasn't in Worlds. What event was it? Yeah, because we've only been really getting the HC units ones since Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
What would they
But I
have
remember it being
used?
really.
What would they have used?
remember-
Sandbox?
No, I
Yeah,
think
they're
they
using
used
Sandbox
the
for the win.
Yep.
And then whatever was used at World was World Sandbox. There was another one that was like,
No, it wasn't.
EP
It
or
wasn't.
something like
It
that?
wasn't. It wasn't Sandbox. It was some in-house.
Yeah.
System they were using because it also wasn't Best Coast pairings either. So
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm not sure how to look up that information, but I know it was. I think it was over 50%. Right? Had at least one Kong.
yeah, it was very high at Nationals last year.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Paul Cote. What would you rather eat, a dog biscuit of your choice or a 5-layer burrito at Taco Bell? I would say Taco Bell. I've regretfully done a lot of damage eating Taco Bell, and I will sign myself up for that again anytime.
I eat Taco Bell consistently, and it's going to be the 5-layer. My go-to is actually going to be 2 beefy supreme chalupas, 2 cheesy gordita crunches, and a crunch wrap. That's usually what I eat about every other day, sometimes every day.
I have a really bad habit with. We probably go there maybe not even once a month, but when we go there, I'll usually get whatever the special box is, and then I'll just keep adding items to it. And I might have like one leftover thing, but yeah, I do some damage at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Dan, Taco Bell or a dog biscuit of your choice?
That's like a rock and a hard place, but the lesser of 2 evils is Taco Bell, so we're gonna go with that.
I would say, yeah, if you choose a dog biscuit, I'll eat your share of Taco Bell.
Pete, I know what your answer is.
Oh, I love Taco Bell. Like, it's a staple of my diet.
Live Moss.
Yeah, you can't beat anything. The cheesy gordita crunch might honestly be. We should really do a top 10 fast foods of all time. Honestly,
I don't
cheesy
know if there's
gordita crunch
anything
is making that.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if there's anything to beat the cheesy gordita crunch.
In the moment, it's pretty enjoyable. You regret it later, but
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, I was gonna say in the moment, sure. Like the 12 hours after, no.
Well, then right after, I'll just get another one. You know.
You never own it; you just rent it. But I mean, it's delicious. I actually had one of my first jobs. Fun fact was at a Taco Bell.
Oh, I did not know that.
Where I met my
Oh,
wife.
yeah. Amazing.
Please tell that story, Miles.
I worked at Del Taco. She worked at Taco Bell, and she came in the drive-thru a lot. And her friend liked me. I didn't like her friend. I got with my wife.
So
Was there
you
any,
would say a love written in tacos?
Was there
Slip
any
his
like
phone up.
animosity between rival taco restaurants?
Yes.
Yeah, there was, and then she did get mad because when I was working there when she was pregnant, I would like load her up with when I was at Del Taco, just load her up with like custom made foods, and she just assumed that's just what it was. And so after I stopped working there, she'd drive there and order the same thing that I made her, and she was very mad that it wasn't the same.
It just didn't exist. What would you make?
Pregnant woman sized macho nachos with everything on it.
Would you just go in and order the macho nachos?
Yeah, and it was just nothing. I did make crunch wraps at Del Taco.
They were less macho when Miles wasn't making them.
That's true.
Yeah, no, they actually, since I stopped working there, they don't have macho burritos anymore. They got rid of them.
The whole place my brain went was just like all of West Side Story was basically Miles and his wife, but it's just about sort of the Sharks and the Jets. It was like Del Taco and Taco Bell, just people in the streets.
I was hoping for something like
snapping.
that.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Just chucking burritos at each other.
Yeah, we did do that. Yeah, where we'd burn, like, when I worked at Taco Bell, we'd like burn the quesadillas and then use them as hockey, hockey pucks.
Uh-huh.
And have like a broom and the dustpan. The dustpan would be the goal. Yeah.
So I don't know how Taco Bell does their like guacamole or sour cream now, but it used to come in a giant tube, but you essentially put it on like a cock gun.
That's what you do.
Just shoot it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there were many nights, because we were high schoolers working, right, where it would turn into like sour cream, like guacamole gunfights in the back of Taco Bell.
So, yeah, I wanted to hear about that. Like, you're shooting your Taco Bell and sour cream at each other.
Oh, yeah. We chased one dude down the street. Like, it was his last day. So we all just booked at, because he knew it was coming. He was getting the sour cream guacamole bath on his way out. And we probably ran for 2 blocks through the south side of Chicago, tried to shoot this guy with guacamole and sour cream. We all got in trouble the next day, but it was totally worth it.
All right. His second question, is there anyone you would like to see on the WWE Evolution 2 card, NXT AAA Legends Return? I love returns. I'd actually like to see AJ Lee come back. And Lita was really big when I started watching wrestling. She's had some rough returns, but I think her most recent run was actually pretty decent, wasn't it? I wouldn't mind seeing her again.
I'm going to go with someone who just doesn't get enough love as she should. And she was Miss Madness in WCW with Macho Man. And then when she went to WWE, she became Molly Hall. All right, I want Molly Holly to make a.
Didn't she come back? Maybe it's just for a battle royale. Didn't she win the battle royale last year? I thought she won something at Evolution 1. I thought she won something big, or maybe it was just the fact that she got put into the Hall of Fame. She was in the Hall of Fame recently, wasn't she? Or was it
2018?
Was Evolution?
So yeah, 2018. No, never mind. No, she was a surprise entrant in July 2022 for the Royal Rumble, but was quickly eliminated. And then she was announced as the first inductee of the 2021 Hall.
So maybe I'm just thinking of the Hall of Fame induction. Who won the Battle Royale? Do you remember?
No, but each one that she joined to, she got eliminated real quickly, and I want to see her. Another like shout out to someone that has been watching wrestling for a long time is sadly she's dead, but would have been Nicole Bass. That's who I want to really see.
You might be alone on that one.
Do you remember Nicole Bass?
I remember seeing videos of her. That was before my time, but there was a lot of like playbacks to that.
Her and Val Venus, baby.
I always look forward to Dan's answers on these.
Me too.
I wish I had an answer for this one, but I don't.
Give me one.
I don't have, I literally don't know, who should appear at this event. I just don't.
Mysterio's wife.
No. No, because I felt bad when they demasked, or they tried to demask the other guy, and his wife and daughter were there, and that was not a good look. So I don't think I could watch something like that.
That was bullcrap because he should have lost.
Which one? I don't remember who that was. Was that
Bandito?
Oh yeah.
No, they restarted the match because they felt sorry for his wife.
Well, I mean, I would too, given the situation. Well, that's kind of awful. You have a front row seat to them basically taking a part of your culture away. That's pretty rough.
Mick Foley's wife saw worse, and their children.
So I don't know. It'd be I guess a
Santina Morella.
Is Triple H even good enough to wrestle? I mean, I'm assuming he's in good shape still. So that'd be interesting to see him.
Evolution. This is all women's pay-per-view.
Oh, sorry. Then there was clearly.
If you have Triple H going in drag, it would be amazing.
Triple H is out for good. He's got a heart issue.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay. That's why I didn't
yeah.
know. I didn't know his status.
Yeah,
Like, I knew he was retired, but like, it feels like no one ever fully retires in wrestling.
Usually not, yeah. Pete, what's your answer?
I mean, it's always fun to get back the legends. I mean, you could have the twins come back. That would be cool. Nikki and Brie Bella.
Please no.
That would be fun. I think one of them's actually back right now.
Yeah.
I would like them to stop this nonsense with Jordan Grace down on the NXT roster. I mean, she's one of the most accomplished female wrestlers right now. You can just bring her right up to the main roster and just be done with it.
She's gonna be on the card. I think she's she on one of the teams.
Yeah.
She's on the card.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous. Yeah.
All right, then his third question is Kiss, Marry, Kill for these 3 made-up nerfs. Red Hulk, Spirit of Vengeance. Pilots can't be more than 125 points. Canon event only triggers when an opposing character KOs one of your characters. And trick arrows only worked on ranged attacks. I would say kill Red Hulk. I prefer to just make the pilots unique. Marry canon events only from opposing. And the Kiss trick arrow only from range. The problem ones are most likely rotating after Worlds. So I like the fix, but canon event needs the fix more. If that's how I understood that question.
Yeah, because that's how I took it. Yeah, that's my exact sentiments. Is that you could swap maybe depending on if Kiss or Marry. I guess Marry would be the most important.
Right.
So yeah, you'd have to Marry. Yeah, Marry canon event. But yeah, I do like the trick arrows, and that's how it was actually explained in the article before it was released. So
right. Dan, do you have a varying opinion on that?
I dislike that. Like, my answer is the exact same as yours, but it's
a good
the best
answer.
answer.
It is
that one.
I agree.
So,
Pete, do you have an answer?
No, I think that's accurate. I think canon events really gotta be addressed to work not benefiting as an active player on offense. And I think you're right. The trick arrows mostly are going to probably, the most problematic ones are going to go away, and that's a good thing. And I think Red Hulk is fine just with unique pilots. Their point cost doesn't bother me.
I think the biggest thing if you want trick arrows to actually be usable and not just gone in silver, then I think the fix would be appropriate so that they only work from range attacks then.
I'm fine with that. All right, then we have Lou Minotti, Rate My Breakfast. It looks like some sort of ham, egg, and cheese on I'm not sure what type of bread. It's a little simple, so I don't think you can get a 10, but it does look delicious. I could probably eat like 5 of those. I'll give it an 8.
That's missing a few layers of cheese and a few layers of meat.
It doesn't look like it has a sauce. If there is like some sort of sauce on it, that might bring it up a notch.
Yeah, maybe sauce. Yeah, I'd give it 3. I could definitely eat 15 of those.
15 of those.
Yeah, I can eat 15 of them.
Dan, do you have an opinion on Lou Minotti's breakfast?
I can feel the heart attack, so I'm gonna not be as keen on this sandwich. It's missing some like vegetable or some kind of greenery on that sandwich, and a little less meat. So,
Dan, you're either here for a good time or a long time, and Lou's here for a good time.
Heart attack.
Can I not have both of those answers? Can I both be here for a long time and a good time? No.
Nope.
Lou, I'd go 9.
Whoa.
I like it. You got plenty of ham. You got cheese, you got eggs, you got what looks to be a delicious roll. I'm down. Let's do it.
I will give bonus points for the solid bread choice. As whatever that is, looks really good.
Yeah,
it sounds really underrated to me too. When like places put like the little like toothpick spears through sandwiches, like that's just nice, you know.
Kicks it up.
Yeah.
Then we have Brian Dormeyer. Why so few mind gems at Nats? Now, is Brian talking about the one shot or the ABPI gem that was still modern legal the last time he played?
I would think the one shot at this point. I'm gonna go with that.
Just taking a dig at it, Dan.
I kind of figured, but I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't know Brian personally. So
It's ABPI. He's talking about that mine, Jim.
Yeah, the gem. No, it's rotated out. Sorry, Brian.
Oh, so he's playing silver. All right, Brian. Like you'll enjoy silver.
Man, you guys are rough out here.
Realistically, it's because it's 10 points. Like that's why. When you look at it.
So the mind
I
gem.
think it was 5 points.
The mind gem is the one where when an opposing character is hit after resolutions, you may choose a power that character can use, and that character can't use the power until your next turn.
Yep.
So yeah, I think like what Miles said, it's 10 points. It takes up a sideline space, and then it might not always come into play. But if it would, you could have just used the nth metal trick arrows as one of your trick arrow options. So I wouldn't say anyone's wrong for playing it. It's just that points are so tight and the sideline's so tight. It's really hard to make room for that.
I mean, if you can make it work, go for it. I like the mind gem personally. I've used it a couple times. It's great.
Yeah, it's when you look at it like points, like it being 10 points. That's where it's like, ugh.
That's how I feel.
You have room for one. You have room for one shot. You have 10 points left. Like, okay, rivalry and barrel or mind gem.
I find so many builds at the very end. Like I just needed 5 more points, and I'd be really happy with the build.
All right, I just want to wish King Brian a happy belated birthday.
Did you miss
Absolutely.
No, I didn't miss it, but it's important that King Brian is celebrated in all the ways he should be.
That's true. Happy birthday, Brian. We did have a couple late submissions here. So we have Dylan Barrett for the upcoming X-Men 97 set. Do you think they will update the X-Men team ability? What would you change it to? I'd never use the X-Men team ability. I hate it. What about if they just didn't take damage? What if you could just heal a click for a power action? That seems fine.
Yeah.
Was it only healing them a click? It was never more than that, right? It was always just
you heal a click, and then if you roll a 4, 5, or 6,
then you take damage. Or you don't take damage then?
Yeah, you don't take damage.
What was the old Teen Titans thing? Was like there was a set where they came out where if you did something, you could do it for free or something like that.
That was one of the Teen Titans traits,
which is identical. Yeah, I don't think they ever. I think there was a piece either like in Regenesis or there was a piece I think that did that too for X-Men, like a Cyclops, right?
I want to say yeah.
The X-Men team ability is a guaranteed one and unavoidable damage for me every time I use it.
Yeah,
that's why I
Let's
don't
make
use
it the
it.
Ultimate X-Men. Yeah. Let's switch it to the Ultimate X-Men team ability.
Remind me what that
so
is.
It's like Avengers.
Oh, prob?
So no. It's like Avengers, but it says once per game per character. A character using the Ultimate X-Men team ability may choose one opposing character or all characters possessing a single chosen team ability. This choice can be made only once per game, even if the character has used another team ability. When this character attacks a chosen character, modify the chosen character's defense by -1. So you'd fix the wording. So you'd word it just like the Avengers, but instead of getting +1 attack, they get -1 defense.
No, why don't you flip it? Why don't you make it so they get +1 defense when they're attacked instead?
I like that better. I'm not sure if it thematically.
The only reason why the -1 defense is that there's like going to be certain figures where like you can't be modified, but they can. So
there's always going to be exceptions to that rule. I'm just like X-Men have always been kind of what I feel like is like an on the run kind of like group in general until even House of X, like they were still like, oh, well, we're on our island now, but it always felt like they were, So to me, it's like, oh, we're getting shot at. Like at least we get +1 defense if we know who's coming after us.
And it actually works really well too, like JSA and Defenders.
Yeah,
I think Defenders should be changed, and Defenders should be X-Men too.
Defenders is in the name of defend, and it's kind of like that, so I like it.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense thematically wise because X-Men are all about protecting each other. Defenders aren't. Yeah. Defenders are just superheroes that have a comic that's not selling great, so they put them in a team book.
What if they just get +1 defense if they're adjacent to a friendly character that can also use that team ability?
Yeah, that'd work too.
Miles, I got a bone to pick with you after that last statement.
You go ahead.
I do too, but I wasn't gonna like be like,
And the defenders weren't always that. They were kind of this offshoot, like these guys were never on a team together, so now we're putting them all on a team. Now I don't know what the sales were when it initially showed up, but
big for the original because Namor, Hulk, and Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer were having middling sales for their comics at the time.
I've never been a big defenders team. They're lame.
Hey, whoa! No slander around here for that.
Yeah. Dan's gonna defend the defenders.
See?
Yeah.
That's why they need a team ability that's like defend. It all leads back to that.
Dan Fenders.
The Dan Fenders. We can all agree that the current version of that and Teen Titans sucks, though, right? Nobody wants to take a power action to heal a click on the potential to also just transfer that damage to somebody else.
Even when you can use it as free, I'm trying to think of a time where I can remember anyone using it.
No, I don't. I'm pretty sure they didn't. They never. Oh, it was somebody when they hit leadership, you could use it as free. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was from like X-Men Rise and Fall, or
yeah, it was something like that.
It was before House of X, even. Right?
Even with that free, it still wouldn't matter. Like I never took that team ability into play.
I mean, I don't remember anyone ever actually actively using that team ability, whether it was free or not.
It's gonna bother me, but I don't want to go through everyone to find out, so I'll have to do it later. But yeah, it's not a good team ability.
Wolverine.
What? Oh, it was Wolverine?
Wolverine. Yeah, he was one of the figures that did it.
Which one?
I want to say Rise and Fall. One of them.
We'll have to go back and look. Because I'm looking at a lot of the set, and it does not look like any of them would do that. It might have been... Was it an Exos Swords OP piece? I feel like it was a limited piece.
They've done it a few times. Yeah, they've done it a few times.
All right, we'll have to go back another time and look through all that stuff. But yeah, I don't like it either, so I would like to see it changed. All right, and then last we have Peter Marshfield. All right, here's hoping I'm not too late for the episode. First, congrats to Ollie on making his mark on winning the monthly. I think there's a million things that could be asked, but as I'm late to the party, I'm just going to leave it with this. From Origins, are there any builds in Silver or Modern that look like they should have done well, but we had Pete dice that day?
Peter's, your team for sure on stream was like, man, my guy Peter had, and it's in the name, right? It's in the nickname, it's in the name. Pete dice, our thing.
I didn't look at the stuff on Silver that did not make cut that much. There was some interesting things, but I'm not really sure what should have done better. I don't know if I have a good answer. Miles, do you have any?
No, I didn't really dig too deep into Silver. I was working the whole entire time that event was going on.
I was too. I didn't even have a chance to catch a lot of the coverage, unfortunately.
What about
in modern team that honestly your team? I just wish you would use Hell Cycle.
Yeah, that was a mistake for sure. No, I had Hell Cycle. I should have had it on Sidestep Poison. Or no, I'm sorry, I did take it off for Motorcycle. I don't even remember what was on my team. I played it twice. Once before the event.
Yeah, because you got a chance for top 16 if you from your fourth game.
Yeah, it would have been nice to continue. Trying to think of any other big ones, and I don't really know. I was pretty zoned in between my games and then doing all the coverage, and I was only seeing the stuff that was making the top tables. And then Also, shout out to Reggie for bringing this idea to the forefront. Thoughts on a build like this? So this is War of Gods. It has Old King Thor with the +1 longsword, Ares on the main force, Freya with the trick arrows, the Prime White Tiger, Avatar of Khonshu, and then the Fenix Pog with Cannon Event, Heimdall Sight, and Pin Particles. I don't like the Old King Thor because of his improved targeting. It still only works on range attacks. And his whole thing is the Giant Reach, right? Yeah, Giant Reach 6.
I mean, you can give him... He's got Heimdall Sight to give him 8 range if you really want it.
Yeah, but he doesn't get to use the Giant Reach, though. Like, yeah, if you got it like, who is that, Wolverine pool, where your Giant Reach went through blocking, I think that would have been way cooler. But because of that, I'm just not a fan of Old King Thor. And that's 125 points of the build. Otherwise, like you, it's so easy to. Has he got Pin Particles on the board? Yeah.
Yep. He's got Pin Particles, Cannon Event, Heimdall Sight. He's going for the big like Ares bomb, and with him on the map, you're getting the +1 damage.
So then, let's say it is themed, right, deity, but all someone needs to do is put you on an indoor map, and your main gimmick that you went into. I mean, realistically, with the what is it? The one shots, you're 135 deep into this gimmick, and I don't think enough.
Well, he does go through. He also walks through blocking, not for nothing. So there is that. Like you can still potentially get there.
With a
yeah, we're saying if you're indoor, you're gonna have to walk through that blocking, but you're still gonna have blocking to try and shoot over because you're not gonna be able to shoot over it.
No, I know.
For that, yeah.
No, I understand that. I'm not stating that that's inaccurate. I'm just like at least he can go through blocking, so it's not like completely dead strat on an indoor map.
I think it could definitely. I mean, if you win map, you do have the bonus there. It could do some damage because you're doing an 8 range blades on everybody. And then you're still putting your, what does Ares do? +1 if he's on the map?
Yeah, it's +1. It's your printed damage +1.
Which his is 4, so you're doing 5 damage minimum to everybody. Still no.
Non-deities modify their defense -1.
So no, because it's
Ares?
Odin. It's Thor, so he doesn't have that.
No, it's Divine Favor. I'm reading it. Safeguard opposing perplex and opposing probability control when Ares attacks. Targeted characters with the deity keyword modify defense -1.
Yeah, but that's Ares. You're attacking with Thor, not Ares.
You're still having to attack with Ares at some point.
Yeah.
But he's and you're basically putting Ares on the map though for a 5 damage chance, right? But you still have reducers because there's no penetrating, there's no precision strike, there's still rollouts. Yep. Yeah, I just don't know. Yeah. I think you're selling out too much, and too many things can go wrong.
Your only range on this team is Fraser Crane. I mean, I get Old King Thor's Giant Reach, but...
Well, so he's giving him Pin Particles to make him a giant, and then he's using Heimdall Sight to give him an 8 range. So now...
Okay.
Wait, does that
even
make
his Giant Reach 8 then?
No.
No, it doesn't.
So why does he have Heimdall Sight? Just because?
Just because you can, or you can do it. You can do it for Freya, so that way she's got an 8 range prob, and then she can also shut off prob within 8 squares of her as well. So there is that. I mean, that's the 2 things I can think of for that that would work the best with Heimdall Sight.
Yeah, so it's probably going on Freya. Yeah, I think you're selling out too much for too many things that can go wrong. So I'm gonna thumbs down on this one, Miles.
Yeah, it's something that will work in silver because you need more points to work with it to make sure that you're covering all your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like it. There's going to be some matchups where you're going to be able to destroy. But when you're going to be playing on the fringe, you need to figure out how you're going to deal with what's winning. And I don't see how this does.
I think, Peter, the best example is how your modern games went. If your dice don't work on your alpha, then the team just dies. If things do go well, you could win turn 2.
I mean, if you want to watch somebody miss with 3 probs from Frazier, watch any of the games I play her. Like, because it probs the same attacker 3 times and you still aren't hitting. So,
See, so my thing is I like that he's trying to make deity work, which I think deities are like, they're fringe, but they're close to there. But yeah, I also don't like Phoenix because you're easy Mern bait at that point. So I don't like that either.
And that's something that no one is building around. And I can just see whether it be a CCO or Worlds where you're gonna get Mern Phoenix Sentinel and just get demolished.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like that either. And unfortunately, old King Thor can have that happen to him because he's got the cosmic keyword. So it doesn't go well for him there.
So what is did you say your actual opinion on that then, Dan?
I'm not into that. I'm the thumbs down. I like old King Thor in theory. I do not like him in practice, and this is someone who's like, I've played him a couple times, and it's like, I like the idea of making deity work because I think they're there. I just don't think that he's your top choice to go with.
Mm-hmm. Pete, you said thumbs down because you'll miss all your probs.
oh, absolutely. You go that hard into the alpha where you're going to either win in 2 turns or lose in 2 turns, it's losing 2 turns.
That's what I feel would happen to me too. All right, let's get to the final thoughts. Miles, what do you got?
Rest in peace to Jim Shooter, who unfortunately passed away today. He was one of the best editors for Marvel in the 80s. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to CliX Camp as well as my CliX League West. If you are listening and you're not on our Facebook page, please join. I did put a poll to see what team I'm going to play. Each song represents my team, and when you see the teams after the results, you'll understand why. But there's Double Vision by Foreigner, Netflix and Chill by Anthony Bow, and then You Dropped a Bomb on Me.
All right, Dan.
I love that I know what those teams are now. Thanks, Miles.
When I send the teams, I'll put them in the chat, in the team chat. You'll be
now that you gave me the song names, I'm like, oh, I know what those are.
Yeah.
Dan, final thoughts?
I played a lot of CliX this week, which was a nice change of pace because I hadn't in a while, and I was like, it was so nice to be back at the monthly. So looking forward, even though it's a quick turnaround, looking forward for July. So,
Pete.
Great weekend of CliX. Looking forward to the quick turnaround after the long layoff of the monthly. Congratulations to the champ. We were told it was the summer of Redmond, but we weren't told which Redmond.
Maybe it's just all the
Good
Redmonds.
job, Ollie.
We'll just keep passing the belt
Good.
around.
That's entirely possible with that group of players. 100%.
Yeah, I felt like we were in a little bit of a lull there, but we had Origins, then we had the monthly, and now we're running back to monthly on the 13th. We're doing CliX Camp that next weekend, and then over the next few weeks we have 2 Champion CliX Open regionals. So we got a ton of stuff that's going on, and before you know it, Worlds will be here. So yeah, lots to look forward to. Have a safe and happy 4th. And remember,
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!